Phil Foden goes across to Jude Bellingham as well, the captain. Now to the back to Mark Gay, who's been as good as anyone in this England European Championship campaign so far. Declan Rice as well. Basically, Izzy, Christiansen, Conor Cody, the pressure is on for these England players to deliver.
It is. It certainly is, John. And what we want to see is an assured performance from England. We want to see some crisp passing out there. We want to see goals. And we want to see dominance to take us into the knockout stages with clarity and confidence.
So we'll keep you across what's happening in the other match, Denmark and Serbia, both kicking off simultaneously. But in this group, this last match night in Group C, if England win, they will finish top. But if Denmark win, they'll go through. If Slovenia win, they'll go through. And if Serbia win, they'll go through. So there is lots to play for. The whistle goes from Clement Turpin, and this time it's Phil Foden who kicks off for England. Bukayo Saka has taken the spot kick for the centre circle kick for the first two matches, but Foden starts for England here, and England go back into their own half to Gay. First impressions are going to be important for England. The way that they start in the opening 5 minutes, the opening 10 minutes, that's what everyone's going to look for tonight. They need a confidence builder here in Cologne, where the sun's still shining, blue sky above, and down there on the pitch, which is a good deal better than the pitch in Frankfurt, of course it is. Trippier to Bellingham at close quarters, and then Bellingham taking it back into his own half to give Jordan Pickford his first touch. There was a bit of feeling behind that as he passed it out to John Stones. It comes back from Stones to Pickford, and now Mark Gay begins to travel forwards. Declan Rice has dropped all the way back there. Conor Gallagher has taken up a rather advanced position in midfield, actually. Right now as I speak, it is Rice in the middle with Gallagher forward to his right and Bellingham forward to his left. Comes back to Rice, and England are forced back towards the edge of their penalty area. Gay turns towards the flank, left-footed towards the halfway line, but it comes off a Slovenian head, and they will give a first touch at the other end to Jan Oblak. Izzy. Oh, that's a short pass out from the back from Oblak, and Foden was very nearly onto that, but they were able to recover. Karničnik was able to get there, but England now are able to snatch back position. Here's Rice on the left-hand side. Rice drags it back. Trippier now with his right foot plays it down the line to Foden. Foden onto this, drags it back, but as the challenge came in, he was trying to win the free kick off Trukušić. He actually deflected it behind. He tried to win the free kick, but he wasn't successful. It's a goal kick.
Yeah, it's more positive from England. Phil Foden getting in down that left-hand side. I think it was Rice that just fed the ball into the channel. Foden's is really tightly marked, and you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to chop the ball back onto his right foot, but concedes the goal kick.
England 0, Slovenia 0 if you've just switched on. And now a chance, the first chance of the match for Slovenia, as Stojanovic is able to break through to the edge of the penalty area. Seemed to take a deflection, but the referee says very calmly it's a goal kick to England, who take a quick goal kick. And now Trippier, halfway inside his own half. Kieran Trippier will actually just pass it back to Pickford, who was looking the other way there. And in fact, the referee has told them they need to go back and take the goal kick again. So Pickford will do that. Pickford defending the goal to our right, where there is a raucous noise now coming out of the Slovenian supporters. Pickford, long and left-footed. Kane had a look as Bijol came in with the challenge, but the left-sided central defender was able to head it out on the far side. Walker takes the throw back to John Stones. Crossfield pass from him, right-footed to Kieran Trippier. Now all the way to the left-hand side to Phil Foden. There's quite a lot of talk about whether the Premier League player of the season would keep his place in this team, but Gareth Southgate making just the one change, as Bellingham has given it away on the halfway line, and so Sporra will take it on, and he's fouled by Gallagher. Gallagher, incidentally, is on a yellow card. He's the only England player who's received a booking at Euro 2024 so far. They take the free kick quickly. Slovenia, we've had the 2-1-1 draws. Remember the first match when Christian Eriksen gave Denmark an early lead, and then the most recent match when Serbia scored deep into added time to make it 1-1. Here's Karničnik carrying the ball forward, giving it centrally to Elshnik, now out to the left-hand side. Mlaka is out there. Here's the cross, which is deflected to the back post. nodded back across the England area. Šeško with a header, but he didn't get any power on that, and Pickford was able to move quickly to his right and just gather it into his stomach.
Yeah, it's come from a loose pass from Jude Bellingham about a minute ago, and it's just given Slovenia a bit of impetus, and it's that man Šeško inside the box who is a real threat inside that area. Just a free header, wasn't it, Connor?
Yeah, it was. And it was great play from Can. He sneaked down the right hand side, right across the pitch to the opposite side. Across, England have just got to be a little bit careful here.
Given away by Gay, now played forward to Šeško, but in came Declan Rice with a covering challenge to take it away. Careless again from England. That was a misplaced pass from Gay, and I think the ball has just gone out of play on the far side. It did, so it's a throw-in to England.
It's been a bit sloppy from England, to be honest. You know, these opening exchanges, they look a little bit nervous out there. They've just been a couple of loose passes.
You know, mistakes like that. This Slovenian side has enough talent in it to take advantage. And Šeško's yet to score. I think he's done everything but, hasn't he? He's hit the woodwork. He's had chances fly wide and high. Throw-in taken by Walker, and Kane rather awkwardly can't take it down. It's at a difficult height for him. So Janja from left back, as Slovenia go back into central defence to Drakušić. Tall and shaven-headed, long pass forward from him. Walker is there to head it back to Pickford, who's able to gather it and overarm it out. 0-0, 5 minutes played. Still 0-0 in the Denmark-Serbia game, the other match in the group. So it's as you were, as Trippier plays a right-footed ball forward for Bellingham to chase down the left wing, and Drakušić comes across and heads it out of play for an England throw.
It's a good forward run from Bellingham. We've needed him to do that when Harry Kane drops deep, to run the channels, squeeze England up the park, but England really need to get some passes together now, get the grip of the game.
England go back to the halfway line again, into the centre circle. Really is a sweltering night here. The hottest night that we've experienced so far in Cologne. Bellingham back towards the halfway line. Declan Rice was scoffing, wasn't it, yesterday at the thought that fitness was a problem for the England teams. Almost laughed off the questions. Here's Gay, Trippier, 10 yards inside his own half, and then Pickford comes out of his penalty area, whirling his arms. It is Stones in possession though. Stones passing it square to Gay again, and then Gay forward to the left-hand side to Foden. Foden's got Trippier down the line, but Foden comes in field, goes back to the halfway line to Rice, and then Rice uses John Stones again. Bukayo Saka, not sure I've mentioned his name yet. There he is though, in possession on the far side. Quick ball back to Stones. Again it goes square along the halfway line. Harry Kane's made himself available. Harry Kane so far at the Euros, just 2 touches in the opposition penalty area. Kane, long diagonal ball forward, looking for Saka. Gallagher's over there, but Slovenia are back in possession, and then Saka charges down the clearance, which is out for a Slovenian ball. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to hear, Connor, what you think, but Slovenia are just being quite passive, aren't they? They're setting traps, they're not jumping and pressing, they're staying tight, structured.
They are, Izzy, and you know what, the shape's really good. They're in a 4-4-2, they're defending in a mid-block, low block. They're in a situation where they're in contact with each other, and they're actually defending really well. But England are pushing on with that 5 going forward, with Jude Bellingham pushing on to the last line as well, so hopefully they can just sustain a bit of pressure there.
So England will be going through tonight, whatever happens here, even if it's only in the 3rd place slot in the group. England's position in the round of 16 is secure. It's a question of which place they will finish in, 1st, 2nd or 3rd in the group. Right now, with the scorelines as they are, England would be going through to play one of the 3rd place sides, which would probably be the Netherlands, but that would have to be confirmed with the later matches in the other groups. Here's Trippier on the halfway line, gives it to Bellingham. Rice comes 10 yards away, still inside Slovenian territory. One throw away from Šeško. Bellingham makes the run. Declan Rice now to Kane. Kane turns his man on the edge of the box, tries to work it through, but Drakušić just got enough on that, and Slovenia are able to clear. Gay back to Trippier. Trippier is going to go back into his own half, and that's what England are up against tonight. They're a rugged pair, aren't they, Drakušić and Bijol?
They're a problem. They've got some real quality in there. Good at defending, they're aggressive. You can just see here Bellingham just dropping outside the structure of Slovenia just to try and get touches on the ball. He's out in this left position where it's meant to be more central, but that's where he's been given licence to go and receive the ball.
Phil Foden takes it in field. Foden who did hit the post against Denmark. A couple of promising runs as well. But England, with John Stones winning his 75th cap tonight. John Stones. Gay to Bellingham. This is more central. Foden back to Bellingham. Couldn't take it in his stride. Foden's in with a challenge. But again, it's Slovenia who break away. And the ball slipped forward by Stojanovic. Now Karničnik, the right back. But England, Bellingham recovers well. And then Kane goes for the early pass to Foden. Foden into the penalty area on the left. Left-footed cross, but Saka slips over at the crucial moment. It was slightly behind him. And in actual fact, the offside flag is up in any case for the forward pass from Kane to Foden.
Yeah, it's just purely instinctive from Harry Kane. He's done the tracking back, he's done the dirty work for the team. He's picked up the ball and he's gone in behind to Foden, who'd made the run, and Foden just doesn't quite time it. Unfortunately, Saka slipped at the back stick, but he was offside anyway. Yeah,
we've got Izzy, Christiansen and Connor Cody, England internationals, both up here with us in the Five Live commentary position. Connor, we've played 10 minutes now. You know, we're all keen to see what England would do, how they would look. What do you think?
I think they've started fine. I think they've controlled the game. We've just got to be careful just losing the ball. There's been a little bit of anxiety when the ball gets into... Here we go.
Stojanovic down the right-hand side takes on Trippier. Stojanovic is able to turn, keep possession for Slovenia. And then Charin goes back into his own half to the number 21, Trukušić. Now again they've got Stojanovic and Karničnik together on the right-hand side, and Stojanovic takes it up to the edge of the penalty area. Šporas pulled away. Šporas ball into the box. It slipped away from Rice, but Gallagher was there covering behind him, and Gallagher, left-footed, was able to clear it. In the two matches so far, England have taken the lead in both matches, so yet to be behind at this tournament. And Slovenia, even though they are technically the outsiders in this group in terms of their world ranking, I think it is a misleading world ranking, 57 in the world. And as we keep saying, it was only a couple of weeks ago that England lost to the team ranked 72 in the world. Gay with the ball halfway inside his own half. Trippier calls for it. Trippier gets it. It's a little bit of a concern about Trippier's fitness in advance of this, but Gareth Southgate said he's absolutely fine. So Trippier gives it to Foden, then back to Trippier again, who looks up, just rolls it to the feet of Gay. The ball has spent a lot of time in this match so far with the England central defenders. Whistles from the Slovenian supporters. Gay now through the middle to Harry Kane. Once again in a deep lying position. Kane gives it to Gallagher. Gallagher eventually gets there with the pass to Walker. Then back to Conor Gallagher again. John Stones calls for it. Stones begins to have a wander forward, just forward of the centre circle he is. Šeško though forces him to pass the ball to Trippier. Now here's Bellingham again appearing on the left-hand side. This performance, England lots of possession, but there is not the zip there yet that I think they and the England supporters would want to see. Gay now across towards Stones, and then Kyle Walker again just takes the ball back towards the halfway line, and then Declan Rice. And this is very safety-first football from England, trying to find the opportunity. Foden now moving in field. Rice, he looks up but goes square. Walker, Stones thought about the long pass. Then it's Gay again. I mean, talk about patient. This is extremely patient.
Do you know what they're waiting for? They're waiting for a Slovenian player to jump out of the structure, but they are being so disciplined. England are just waiting and waiting and waiting, and you can see they're getting increasingly frustrated. Harry Kane's dropping deep. Conor Gallagher's tight in next to Declan Rice.
So therefore the same pattern continues. England 0, Slovenia 0. England, who after the disappointment of the second match against USA and Qatar, bounced back with a very good 3-0 win against Wales. That was a very powerful challenge there by Big Biol to take the ball, put the tackle in on Conor Gallagher, throw into England. Stones, long right-footed pass, that's over the head of Trippier and out of play. You can hear the reaction there from the England supporters, cheers from the Slovenians. Conor?
Yeah, John, the word you used before, zip, I think we need to move the ball quicker. I think there needs to be a little bit of pressure on the ball. When you're zipping it in, put it with a little bit of a punch on it, just to move them a little bit more. They're comfortable in the shape, Slovenia. They're actually doing it really well. They're shuffling across the pitch really well. We're getting movement quite nicely, but just that little punch on the ball, I think we need to get it a little bit quicker.
Yeah, the talk yesterday, Declan Rice said to me, we want to dominate teams. But at the moment, It's the gentlest of starts. 0-0 in both matches tonight, so it's as you were. England would be going through as group winners. Stones. Šeško with the press on him. Back to Pickford. Pickford left-footed to Trippier. And down there, all in black, Maciej Kek, the Slovenian coach, very experienced in his second spell as the coach of the Slovenian team. It was him who was in charge back in South Africa. Oh, John Stones, that's a poor touch from him as the ball is played across to him. Miscontrolled and it's out of play, and I'm afraid that doesn't help the collective.
Strange, because we're not in Frankfurt now where the pitch was chopping up. The pitch looks okay out there, but John Stones had a little look to the floor. Maybe there is a little divot out there, but the ball's just gone under his foot. That's so uncharacteristic of John Stones.
Yeah, it was, and that will give confidence to Slovenia. Šeško now to the left-hand side where Mlaka wins the throw-in down the left flank. Šeško, tall. He's got that blonde hair, that bleached blonde hair, and he's putting himself in a position at the near post. Šeško signed a contract to stay at Leipzig despite the interest from Arsenal. Throw-in is taken short by Slovenia out towards the left-hand side. Back it goes. Here's the cross into the 6-yard box. Over everyone. Pickford came, but no one could get a touch, and it's all the way through for a goal kick. And it is still 0-0 with 15 minutes played.
Yeah, it's good marking at the back post from Trippier. He just gets in there before Shapora. He just gets his body in the way and just guides it away, and Pickford comes out. I think England have got full control of that situation, but might be better to ask an England centre-back.
I was going to say, Izzy, Trippier's the best at that. He's the best at, honestly. His dark art with defending, the way he can get his body in and just usher the ball out of play, he's the best at doing it. It was a fantastic bit of defending.
Yes, that Diego Simeone taught him a thing or two when he was at Real Madrid. Trippier now to Bellingham, and Bellingham attacks, runs with the ball at the Slovenians. Now Gallagher with a little touch. Saka could be onto this in the penalty area. Here he is! Right-footed cross, though, that's over everyone. Foden anticipated, though, that it was going to bounce out into the right-back area. And for the first time in the match, Trippier, that was a poor challenge. But the referees waved the advantage. Špora takes it on for Slovenia down the right-hand side. I think there might be a yellow card coming for Kieran Trippier after that challenge, but still the Slovenia attack continues. Špora looks to cross it, then it's blocked out of play by Gallagher. And yeah, Clement Turpin points at Kieran Trippier, and it's a yellow card for the England left-back.
Yeah, it was really late from Kieran Trippier. He's just trying to cut off that Slovenian counter-attack at source. But they do really well to progress the ball down this right-hand side. And they look like they're growing in confidence, Slovenia. They're moving the ball about 1-2 touch, and they got themselves in a really good position here with an attacking, I think it's a throw-in on this right-hand side. Or is it a free kick?
I think it is a free kick. Might be worth pointing out that there is a possibility that the places could be decided on the disciplinary ranking between the sides in this group. And Denmark, before tonight, had 3 yellow cards, and England now have 2. Free kick to Slovenia on the right-hand side. This is going to be taken by Janja, I think. There are 2 of them there, Janja and Charin, but I think it looks like the in-swinger from the left-footed Janja. England got to face this set piece. 0-0 if you've just joined us on 5 Live here in Cologne. Janja waits. Referee just eventually does blow his whistle. It is Janja, left-footed towards the back post, and it's over everyone and all the way through beyond the far post on the bounce for a goal kick.
Oh, it's a wonderful delivery from Janja, the left-back. He's just stepped onto the ball, he's hit it really cleanly. And England got lucky.
So it is a goal kick. Goal kick. Gay, left-footed, plays it out towards Foden. A flick with Foden, and then Drakušić is able to play it back. However, so far, the most positive thing England have done was that run from Jude Bellingham. That was the first moment, really, where the crowd, the England supporters, got up as he ran at the Slovenians, and it did result in, a quarter chance. It is Elshnik for Slovenia. They've played it up to Špora, who's going to shoot from outside the penalty area, took a deflection, so Pickford, scrambling wide of his goal, was able to get down and hold it.
Yeah, Gay's gone in really well there with Špora. He's recognised that he's just dropped deep. He's tried to get the shot away. It was definitely not enough on it, but it was good by Gay again, just to get tight pressure on him.
England 0, Slovenia 0. Let's see how things have started between Denmark and Serbia. Maz Faruqi.
Decent start. Denmark targeting Højlund with their balls forward. Serbia employing the same tactic with Mitrovic. One of Serbia's defenders has already picked up a yellow card as well. Just 4 minutes in, Milenkovic and Bar has just headed wide for Denmark. Remember, a draw could be enough for them. It is still 0-0 at the moment.
Yeah, it's as you were in the group. Here's Saka playing it into Bellingham, just outside the D with his back to goal. Rice square. Now Trippier to Foden. For once, Slovenia are being pinned back into their own penalty area. There's a bit more zip about this. Foden, little touch towards the corner flag, then back to Trippier on the left. Trippier then picks out Rice. Rice back to Foden in the box. Foden across, Saka! Offside flag! Puts it in the net with his right foot. It did look it, I must say. 1 or 2 water bottles are thrown down. The goal will be checked, but I think it was offside. What do you two think, the professionals?
Yeah, we're just looking now. It does look like Phil Foden's on the back shoulder, and he's offside. But tell you what, that's come from Declan Rice. And Connor was asking for zip and clarity on the passing out there, and that is a brilliant example. So unfortunate.
That's more like it.
That's when you move the ball fast. I think against a 4-4-2, a low block, a team who are together and in contact with each other, you move the ball fast, John, and it moves them. It really does. And this England team is capable of punching and passing in. That's one thing they're good at. When you train with them and you play with them, it's like pinball at times, and I think they need to get to them levels.
20 minutes played. England 0, Slovenia 0. Euro 2024 on the BBC, here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And 0-0 after the confirmation from VAR. Bellingham dived in rather there, and I think it was just as well he didn't get a touch on Chirine. Dived in with both feet on the ground, and then forward from Biol. Suddenly the intensity is much greater from England, although that's given us a foul against Walker in the centre circle. They just seem to have upped it to my eye.
Yeah, that's just seemed to have given England a little bit of a boost.
Ball played forward by Slovenia, but there's no way that Malacca will catch that. It's through for a goal kick.
Yeah, there's much more energy about. We've not even mentioned Kyle Walker then, and he was the one that came in there and conceded the foul, but he went in with real intent into Malacca, the winger that he's up against. When he came inside, he just went tight. He ended up giving a free kick away, but that's more like it from England. Don't mind that at all.
Goal kick then. Pickford is going to take this. He's like a beacon down there, all in orange, almost matching the orangey sunset that we've got here tonight across the city of Cologne. Pickford, left-footed, high and long. Kane comes, tries to flick it on, but that's won well by Biol. Walker's able to get his foot on the ball after it was headed forward to him. Kyle Walker, the vice-captain, winning his 86th cap tonight. Saka tries to get away down the left. He was pulled back there, and it is a yellow card. To England take a quick free kick, which they wanted to do, but the referee says that he had not given England permission to take it. But that was blatant, the pullback by the left-back Janja on Saka, and so Saka has now got a left-back on a yellow card.
Yeah, it's brilliant play from Saka, more like it from him. He's in the Premier League, he's one of the best at receiving the ball in tight spaces and getting out of trouble. And his first touch just takes him away, sucks in the foul, and you can feel the momentum shifting again in England's favour. There's a bit more bite about them now. And
if Slovenia are able to get through, Janja will be suspended for their match in the round of 16. But no goals yet on this final night in Group C. So England would be going through as group winners to play one of the third-place teams. Walker forward, but Gallagher was never going to reach that. It's played forward again. Spora, once on loan at Middlesbrough. Andrzej Spora challenging for it. Walker then wins himself a throw-in on the halfway line. If you're out of work late and you haven't heard, in the earlier matches, our earlier commentaries, it finished Austria 3, Netherlands 2, France 1, Poland 1, so Austria won that group. And Austria, both teams going through there will play one of the runners-up. Austria will play the runners-up in the Portugal group, and France the runners-up in the Belgium group. They'll all be decided in the coming days. England 0, Slovenia 0, with Gay just turning it back to Bellingham, who's again over towards the left-hand side. Can clearly from our position here see the fashionable holes in the back of his sock. Walker misses the pass. Nevertheless, it reaches Saka on the far side, then in field towards Foden. Foden, pass to Trippier. Bellingham's there just to his left, still on the left flank. Bellingham's ball across, took a deflection, was cleared away on the edge of the box. As Mark Gay will go back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the way that England are setting up and the way that they're moving out of in possession to try and get the likes of Bellingham and Foden on the ball, and they're playing some really strange passing choices. And it's easy for us to sit up here and say that, but playing some silly passes.
Foden through the middle, but doesn't reach Bellingham, and so Drakušić has got it in front of his own box. England with Foden and Trippier, but it's played, and in fact cheers from the Slovenian supporters as they tried to play through the England press, but England are back in position with Saka on the far side, who goes down under the challenge of Janja, who's got to be careful there against Saka. It's played forward and then blasted by stones into the shins of Šeško and out of play on the far side. He's taking a risk there.
I was going to say, John, I'd keep on giving the ball to Bukayo Saka. I really would. He can get at people, and it's game management. It's understanding what the opposition are doing, and is anybody on a yellow card? And a full-back on a yellow card is really dangerous when you've got someone running at you like Bukayo Saka. I'd keep on feeding him and try and get at him, and let's see what he does with it.
25 minutes played now as Kieran Trippier passes the ball over the halfway line to Phil Foden. Back to Trippier. Kane again has dropped deep. He's now inside his own half, the England captain, as he just taps it back to Gay, and then Kane bringing it forward. It's blocked out of play by Chirine for a throw into England just in front of the dugout. No sign of Gareth Southgate down there, sitting alongside Steve Holland out of our sight. Under the top of the England dugout, which looks to me as though it's got the flag of Japan on the top of it, as Stones plays it to the right-hand side to Walker. Now to Saka. Saka, who just wriggles away from Janja again. Conor Gallagher's made himself available on the right, but the cover was there from Elshnik. And then eventually Gallagher with Mlaka, and it is given as a free kick against the Slovenian midfielder. So a free kick won by Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, that's what Conor Gallagher's all about. He picks up the loose balls. He's happy to take hits and just relieve a bit of pressure. And Slovenia have shown some really nice little bits of link-up play, playing this 4-4-2 system really nicely.
Still 0-0. Foden now moving in field again. It's opening up for him to the edge of the area. Plays it to Kane, but Kane was just on his heels there on the edge of the box as Foden flicked it forward, and it just ran away from him behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, the Foden just getting on the ball, turning. He's lethal when he starts dribbling with it. He sucks the defender out. He tries to slide Harry Kane in, but it's just a fraction too late from the England captain.
So a goal kick to Slovenia into the path of Walker. Now Bukayo Saka. Saka back to Walker, and then across it comes again. Phil Foden, when he's received the ball, he's very often looked to come in field, and here he is now. Foden, then back to Trippier, and England back into their own half, where Mark Gay will go back to Pickford. For Foden, the statistics don't look good. 1 goal and no assists in his last 15 England appearances. But he's always available. He's in the game. Stones with it at the moment. Plays it to his left to Gay. The England fans urging their team forward. Mark Gay is actually going to bring it forward. Here's Declan Rice in that central position. Kane available, but it goes square to Walker, who's come well in field. Gallagher makes a run to the right-hand side. Saka is there again. Saka's ball, that's more positive. To Kane inside the box, tried to flick it, got it all wrong. Bellingham wins it back on the edge of the area. Bellingham on his left foot, in comes the challenge on him. Back to Rice, Rice slides in, Bellingham slides in. England keep possession. Trippier, Foden, in come the challengers. England still in possession. The England supporters like this. There's a bit of the traditional English style of football on that last period of attack, as Trippier wins a throw-in off Karničnik on the left-hand side.
Some proper hard tackling in there by Declan Rice, and then the tackle on Bellingham was hard but fair. But the England fans, as you say, John, responding to that. They're loving it, the intensity.
Yes,
really lifted it.
I can imagine them in the stands. The phrases like, that's more like it. But Karničnik is running it away, and England might be a little stretched here. Šeško's available, the ball is played forward for him to chase, but Pickford will get there comfortably and easily first, and actually is able to pick it up and then underarm it out to Gallagher. He's got space in front of him. You can hear the England supporters saying, come on, get it forward, which is what they're doing. Trippier, now Foden, he's got 2 Slovenians in front of him, goes back to Bellingham. Trippier, then Bellingham again. A flick from the right foot of Champions League winner Jude Bellingham back to Champions League winner Kyle Walker, and then through the middle to Declan Rice. He's got space in front of him to the edge of the box. Kane takes a touch, shoots on the turn, and then goes down a little awkwardly as it's blocked away out towards the left-hand side. Trippier keeps it in play. Foden now. Foden, that's a good-looking ball right across the penalty area, and it's kneed behind at the back post by Janja for a first corner of the match to England.
You can feel the energy transmitting to the fans now from England. They've really turned up the volume. The passing's got crisper. Declan Rice there couldn't believe the amount of space that he found himself in on the half turn, and it found Harry Kane, and England have got that corner off that cross from Foden.
Yes, after what you have to say has been a tentative start from England, I think the tempo, the intensity is increasing, and it is getting marginally better. Corner from the right hand side that Trippier waits to take. The referee blows his whistle, standing just inside the box. Trippier just steps away to the right, and here we are, right-footed towards the back post. Kane with a header, didn't get a clean contact on that, headed away into the full-back position, and then Rice challenges for it, bounces down, Rice battling for it. Referee says, yep, that's okay, back to Kane. Kane shoots for goal, but Oblak is able to catch the ball in front of his eyes, just slightly actually to the left of his head. And that's England's first attempt on goal.
Yeah, and it was the right decision from Harry Kane. He's so lethal on his right foot. Kane from Declan Rice picking up the second phase off the corner. He's mopping up at the back, keeping the attack alive. And that's what the England fans want to see.
Getting better, Connor?
Yeah, a little bit of bite about England. I think the last 5, 6, 7 minutes, I think we've sustained attacks better. They've had that one little counter-attack that Pickford come out and collected, but we're just sustaining attacks better. A little bit more bite, a little bit more zip. Obviously the shot from Kane, but just building a little bit of momentum, and it's better from England.
England 0, Slovenia 0, still Denmark 0, Serbia 0 on this Tuesday night. And a pass that was a little short, Foden was almost onto that. In fact, England have won it back, but Gallagher's headed it away to Spora, 30 yards out, takes it on, left foot shot, deflected across the box, but took it away from Šeško inside the penalty area, and Pickford was able to collect it under no pressure. So still 0-0. They've got a threat though, Slovenia, no question.
They're just biding their time, Slovenia. The two forwards are working really nicely. Antagonistically, I think is the word, together. One's dropping deep, one's going in, and they're just waiting for England to make a mistake, and they're pouncing on it, and they look a threat.
Spora, the number 9, who, as I say, had a spell on loan at Middlesbrough, but is now at Panathinaikos, and Šeško, who finished the season with Leipzig so well, scored in his last 7 Premier League Bundesliga matches of the season. England have taken a while to create a chance, but Harry Kane with that shot from the edge of the penalty area there first, which was easily dealt with by the excellent Oblak. Now Gay, England look for Bellingham on the left again. Back it goes to Trippier, and then forward to Kane, and then again back towards the halfway line. I must say this does bring it back to the last Euros, the third group match that England had there against the Czech Republic, which, if you remember, was a bit of a tense 1-0 win, but England with that won the group and then proceeded to reach the final. So the runners-up the last time the Euros were played, in possession inside the central third with Gay, and Gay looking for options. A little slip by Foden as he comes for it. Gay through the middle to Rice, then Foden, Trippier expected to go forward down the left, but comes with the ball in field to Foden. Foden with a 1-2 with Bellingham. Now Trippier on his right foot. Then Rice has found space again, 25 yards out. Rice then runs into trouble on the edge of the box, does well actually to get a touch to it as he fell. Trippier plays it forward to Foden, he's got space, looks up, left-footed ball to the edge of the box. Walker is there, but Walker lays it off over to the far side. Saka has to scamper out of the penalty area, and then Saka to Gallagher. Saka takes it on, he's fouled as Biol dives in on him, concedes the free kick to England, probably 25 yards out given the angle towards the right.
Yeah, Saka just coming inside on that favoured left foot, really clever with the way he uses his body, just sucks and draws the foul, and England have got an interesting position here. Looks like Foden's going to go over and take it, a favoured left footer position.
Strange, isn't it? It does feel to me that there is an air of tension about this England performance, even though they've already secured their place in the last 16. You know, the players know, it feels like they know that they have to deliver. But this is a set-piece opportunity that they have here now. Foden has gone over there, Trippier as well. Probably too far out to have a go, but Trippier just placing the ball. Foden, two of them in conversation together. Still in discussions. It looks as though it's going to be delivered in by Foden. Here he comes, Phil Foden strikes it goalwards, and Oblak is able to move across quickly enough to his left and just pat it down.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad effort from Phil Foden. I mean, I think the position of the free kick favoured a cross rather than a shot. Nonetheless, he catches it really well, but Oblak was equal to it. Just watching Kieran Trippier off the transition there, really sharp on it, getting the team organised. That's what England need.
Oblak launches one downfield, headed away by Gay. Comes to Stojanovic on the right-hand side. Stojanovic just slips the ball down the line to Spora, and then Gay in with a challenge to win a throw-in for Slovenia. 10 yards away from the corner flag. Slovenia take the throw-in quickly. A flick infield by Turin. Now here is the hulking figure of Biol, the number 6, who receives it back on the halfway line. Slovenia never beaten England in the 6 previous meetings, one of which was in Port Elizabeth at the World Cup in South Africa, where England went on after that, if you remember, to the match against Germany, as Gallagher is challenged, and Slovenia did not take advantage of that. There was a mix-up there between Šeško and Mlaka, but it is Slovenia who come forward again with the ball from Elshnik, and now Šeško looking to find a position, 25 yards out, rolls it to Stojanovic on the right-hand side. Stojanovic with Karničnik past Trippier, Karničnik's ball to the near post, his block. Gay was there, Sporar as well, and it bounced back to Trippier to clear. Ball back to the edge of the England penalty area, and then Trippier has given it away. Stojanovic approaches the area, there are white shirts there, he's forced a little wide, he uses Karničnik, who gives him it back. Stojanovic, right corner of the box, and this time it's England who are having to defend here as the Slovenian confidence grows. Karničnik, still 0-0 in both of these matches tonight, so England going through as group winners with this scoreline. But again, it's less than wholly convincing, this England performance. Here's Elshnik. Elshnik moves forward, Saka forces him to turn it back to Drakušić on the halfway line. Then Karničnik again, Karničnik. Elshnik, little pass forward from him, then it comes back to him. Bellingham tries to get there. Body language not great from Bellingham as he doesn't get there, looks to the heavens.
Yeah, I was saying how the Slovenian strikers are working together. It's not the same to be said for Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham at the moment. They're being popped around, and you can tell they're getting frustrated, understandably.
Yeah, Elshnik now down into the full-back position. Stojanovic, this is good from Slovenia. I think they sense that there is this vulnerability about England. Spora, back to Karničnik. Now it's taken up centrally by Čerin, the Slovenian supporters roaring on their team. Stojanovic's ball, Čerin with a cross, high towards the back post. It's very congested there. Saka leans into his opponent, who goes down. Mlaka went down far too easily. The Slovenians are appealing for a penalty. I think they'll be very fortunate. And then Harry Kane is fouled from behind by Biol, which is far from his first foul. And the England captain has stayed down. Yeah,
there's 2 bits in there to dissect. One, the defensive responsibilities from Bukayo Saka. We're just watching a replay. No, he's gone down far too easily from Janza. It's not a foul. Saka's done really well. And then that one on Harry Kane, by the way, I think that's a yellow card from Biol, the centre-back, who's gone right in with him, gone through the back of him.
Me too. And Harry Kane is on his feet now, and Harry Kane trotting towards referee Turpin, and I think he's making the same point as the captain. What about a booking for Biol for that? Gay hits this long pass downfield. I'm not sure Bellingham will get there. No, he doesn't, and Bellingham drops down and slides through, actually on his knees, but then stands and applauds back towards the England players on the halfway line for the intent. Conor, if you'd put in that challenge that Biol had on Harry Kane?
I'd have been booked.
Yes.
100% I'd have been booked. It was a booking. I think it was his second one. He got away with on the edge of the box as well when Phil Foden had his free kick. I just think when we're in our final third a little bit, John, we seem a little bit passive, don't we? We seem a little bit passive. We get into the byline a little bit too easy in that little pattern of play there. We rescued it, but can we be a little bit more aggressive? Can we make contact on the player or the man?
Yeah, as Trippier heads it back to Pickford. And the shout for the penalty from Slovenia. I mean, Saka had his arms around Janja, but I think released his hands at the crucial moment.
Oh, it's a great bit of defending. It's exactly what you want from your winger, coming back in, helping your back four. Kyle Walker to give him a big pat on the back there and said, well done, well done, Bukayo, brilliant defending, mate.
So England play it forward. Half-time approaching, 0-0 in both matches this final night in Group C. 5 live from the BBC. Floodlights just beginning to take greater effect down there on the pitch surface. Foden. Then Stones from his Manchester City teammate. Flick from Trippier. Bellingham's able to get the ball down on ground level and then takes on the two Slovenians. Plays it back to Trippier. Trippier on his right foot. Here's the ball in from Trippier to the back post, and it just evades both Gallagher and the sliding Kane and skips away beyond the far post for a goal kick.
It's taken 40 minutes for us down this left-hand side to find Kieran Trippier in his strongest position, cutting onto his right, and he whips the most delightful ball into the backstick area, and Harry Kane must have been inches away from that. He was. We're watching the replay there, but that ball in from Trippier, exceptional.
Connor.
It's an outstanding ball, John, outstanding. Kieran Trippier's got that in his locker, by the way. We see it every single week at Newcastle from the right-hand side. He just put it onto his right foot and whipped a lovely ball in. All it needed was a little touch, and it'll go into the bottom corner.
But it remains 0-0, and Mark Gay gets very tight on Sporar down on the halfway line, way down below us. Have to lean over the front of the desk to see him. Šeško, and then Karničnik with the ball into the edge of the area. Walker's got to be careful quickly. Plays it back to Pickford. He was under pressure there, Walker, on the edge of the area. It was a sure touch. He got that just about right.
Yeah, he did. And I'm just watching Pickford and Walker. Walker's just clapped Pickford because Walker deals with it really well. He fizzes a pass into Pickford and he has to deal with it first time, otherwise he's under pressure. But they ended up dealing with it really well, England.
Well, it's been an ultra low scoring group, this one. 1-1, 1-1, 1-0 and 1-1. And this last night of the group has them both at 0-0. Here is Jude Bellingham. Bellingham to Foden. Now back to Gay. And England again. Conor Gallagher makes himself available, but instead it goes to Rice, Declan Rice. Again, the England supporters, you can hear them from the stands. There are so many of them, almost 20,000 of them in this stadium. Whenever England are in a position where they could drive forward, there is that encouragement from the stands, and here it comes again. Rice, though, has to go back to the halfway line to John Stones. And then Harry Kane once more drops deep. Stones to Kane, who turns now 30 yards out. Kane's going to try a shot, which is deflected up and wide, loops away. It's a corner for England.
Don't mind that. The obvious pass for England is to play sideways, but what they've started to do in the last 5 or 10 minutes, they've started to pierce through Slovenia's midfield. They're getting Harry Kane, Declan Rice on the half turn, and then they're just going for the throat of Slovenia, and they've got a couple of corners as a result. It's much better from them. Simple.
So Trippier goes across there to take this. Luke Shaw is named as a substitute, by the way, tonight. He was involved in the warm-up, but Gareth Southgate said he won't be on the field tonight, but that is more promising. Here's the corner then. Trippier drives it deep. Rice trying to get to it. There was a defender there, and the referee says there was a shove in the back on Cherin by Rice. So it's a free kick, and Bijol gives him a little hug for winning the free kick. Free kick to Slovenia. So 0-0 in both matches, and Oblak, who's not been stretched, it has to be said, he's had a couple of stops to make, but for a goalkeeper of his level, they were very straightforward. And Oblak, with the orange gloves and the orange boots, strikes us over the halfway line. It bounces down for Trippier, and then Trippier all the way back to goalkeeper Pickford, who will give it back to Trippier. That's what England want to see, just as Izzy Christiansen described there, to be able to find a position where Trippier can deliver balls into the penalty area from open play. Walker, then Gallagher. What do you think of Gallagher so far, Izzy?
He's been energetic. He's made a few good forward runs, which we haven't mentioned off the ball, but I've noticed them. He's doing it to create space for the team, but I think It's been a few sloppy little bits of play in the midfield from him. He's on the ball now.
First time he's started a match at a major tournament. He's an unused substitute for all of the matches in Qatar. Here's Gay, Mark Gay on the halfway line. But Slovenia just happy to sit off behind the ball. With this scoreline, Slovenia would be risking it in terms of the places, but I think they're probably confident enough that 3 points will get them through. Here is again Stones is saying to Gay, you know, there's body language again out there between the players, as Foden brings it infield to Rice. Rice goes for the long pass. Walker has to back away, nod the ball back to Saka. He gets there first ahead of Mlaka. Saka against Mlaka. Saka's ball into the area to Bellingham. A flick from him in between Saka and Foden, and it breaks down. Just doesn't click for England. That's been the story, hasn't it?
That's what we're waiting for. We're just waiting for that flick, that
piece
spark,
of quality.
like you say, John. Yeah.
Piece of quality. And there are plenty of players down there who are good enough to provide it. As the referee has blown for half-time. 45 minutes are up. He's played 5 seconds over the 45. So what do we make of that? 0-0 with Slovenia at half-time. Izzy, Connor?
I think, if I'm honest, I think we were expecting a little bit more of a response from England to the previous two performances in the group. But they've just not quite found that cutting edge yet to cut through Slovenia, who have been magnificent, by the way. They've been structured, disciplined, haven't they, Con?
Yeah, they have. You know what, it seems a bit like an anxious performance from England that gets into the final third, in our own final third. It's a little bit anxious. I don't know whether it's the crowd and the anxiety in the crowd, and then the players and a few little mistakes here and there. I think we have a little bit more quality going forward. We mentioned in commentary there with Izzy about just being a little bit quicker with your passing, a little bit zippier, just a little bit more coming out for the second half, and try and get away from that anxiety that we've got about us at the minute.
Yep, they promised more. Really, they've yet to deliver it. Kane with a shot that was comfortably saved, Foden with a free kick, that ball in from Trippier. Slovenia carry a threat, but at half-time, England 0, Slovenia 0, and Mark Chapman's up here with us.
Can I focus on the two flanks? And I'll start with you, Connor, on the right flank, which is, as you said midway through the first half, get the ball to Saka. He is the one that is going to run at them.
That's exactly what I'd be saying on the pitch, chappers, and I think it's up to players on the pitch then to take responsibility and say, listen, game management, let's see what they've got, let's see what Slovenia have got. Right, we've got one of the fastest wingers in the competition. He's had an outstanding season. I'll give him the ball, get down the outside, like the goal in the first game against Serbia where he crosses. I know it takes the deflection onto Jude Bellingham's head against Serbia, but he's down the outside, he's getting the ball in with his right foot. At the minute, we're always coming inside.
And on the left, I feel a bit for Phil Foden, actually, because he has had a bit of a spark, and anything he's tried, it doesn't feel like anybody else is on his wavelength.
For today's game, what I've seen out there is Jude Bellingham is coming over onto this left-hand side as well as Foden. They're obviously trying to get them tight together to combine to create the overload to then pierce through Slovenia's defence. I have no issue with that, as long as it's got rhythm, as long as it's got intent, and I think the movement between the two of them has just been a little bit delayed and the passing opportunity has gone. But the other thing with Trippier is obviously he's a right-footed left-back at the moment. I have no problem with him playing there if you use his strengths, and they've shown there, England, that one chance that Harry Kane was about an inch away from putting in the back of the net. That's using Trippier's strength in a position which isn't his most favoured position, but it's just about finding the right relationships around the ball, and if I'm honest, I don't think it's working on this left hand side.
Do you think Bellingham's body language is great? I mean, I don't want to go back to it, but it was highlighted in the last game. He did applaud the long ball from Mark Gay. There's a lot of shrugging, huffing, hands out. Why wasn't that laid back to me?
The intent is there from Bellingham at times. I wouldn't say it's been consistent, as in he's made the runs beyond, which is what a number 10 should be doing. They should be creating space. But I think that the body language you're referring to is coming from the press. Slovenia have looked really comfortable playing out of England's press with Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham as a two up there. They're just not getting close enough, and that's why Bellingham is getting frustrated.
Yeah, it's frustration, I think, chappers, as well. I think it's frustration in we're a little bit slow, we're a little bit lethargic, and I just think it's frustration from Jude. And Listen, there's bigger things we can look at this moment in time. I actually think, I mentioned before again about Declan Rice being big. I actually think he's going to be big in this game without touching the ball that much. I think our centre-halves can step in more. They're playing with the two and they're trying to stop Declan getting on the ball. So Declan has to move their two strikers, because we have two fantastic players at centre-back who can step in with the ball. So I think Declan's going to be big in this. Get him on the ball when we can, of course, but then when we can't, go and occupy defenders and let us step out in another way.
Joe Hart in our studio in Berlin, what have you made of that first 45?
Yeah, it just felt a little bit clunky, especially when we're talking about our left side with Jude Bellingham dropping into the kind of left-back position. Kieran Trippier not quite sure when to go, when not to go, and Phil Foden, obviously, you can tell that he really wants to make an impact on this game. But, you know, as Izzy said, when he does try and make that impact, not everyone's quite on his wavelength. So I concur with what all you guys are saying. I'm just interested, how's the pitch looking? Because when I know that Slovenia aren't necessarily playing slick football, but when they do play, they look quite comfortable in what they're trying to do. But England, they look like they're second guessing their simple passes at the moment, and they're not quite sure of the tempo to pass at.
Pitch is looking fine to me. I
really?
mean, there was that pass that John Stones, the ball went under his foot and he looked at the turf as if to say it took a bobble. I didn't see it again, I didn't see it close enough, but from my angle, if Slovenia can play, so can England, and Connor said it's spot on, absolutely spot on. They just need to move the ball quicker, fizz it in, get some more rhythm on the ball, because Slovenia are just so happy sitting off, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say there's no set tempo to how we're playing, and when a team that wants to play and break through lines, you know, even sometimes we all miss a pass, that's not a problem. It's just I'm not quite sure of the tempo of, you know, and it almost looks completely different from the right sided, how the pace we're trying to build up to the left hand side.
Party, we've all been there, haven't we? You know, with confidence, mate. I think it's something where we can talk about the pitch, we can talk about things all we want. I actually think there's a lack of confidence a little bit with England. I think you can say what you want over the last few days about they've not felt it, but you do. We've been there, haven't we, where you hear things and you see it. Of course you do. And there is an anxiety when the ball's coming into our own final third. So I do think it's a confidence thing. We've got to be brave enough and strong enough to get through it. And I think actually Slovenia are playing quite well. So we've got to get through it and be strong enough to come through it.
They have played quite well, haven't they, Joe, Slovenia? But when England are on the front foot, when they have driven at them those 2 or 3 times, and when they have played the pass to break the line rather than go side to side, they've been effective.
Yeah, I think Slovenia have fed off our energy. They've probably fed off everything going into this week, knowing full well what noise has been going on from the country and how the boys have been reacting to it. And I was just thinking before about this tournament obviously being so close, and, you know, no games really anyone's been blown away. You're not beating anyone in the tunnel at this tournament, are you? You're not standing there and having the opposition look at you and think, this is going to be a long day. I think at the moment, people have got the attitude of, you know what, if we can really get into these guys, we can unsettle them. And I think Slovenia, you know, like we say, we've got to give credit. They've made it really difficult tonight, and they actually look a threat when they go forward.
Joe Hart, Izzy Christiansen, Conor Cody with us this evening. Goalless here between England and Slovenia, and then the other match in the group, Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, this one hasn't sparkled really very much either, Mark. This one also goalless. Jonas Finn has had the ball in the back of the Serbia net, but to say he was wrestling Rajkovic, the Serbia keeper, to the ground as Eriksson swept the corner kick in would be an understatement. Eriksson has had a couple of chances testing the goalkeeper, taking a shot on from distance as well. And bookings, if they do become a factor with this group so tight, we've had 2 for Denmark so far to add to John's tally, 1 for Serbia. A draw at the moment could be enough, perhaps should be enough for Denmark to progress, but you feel they want to try and get the job done in the second half. Serbia need to try and get the win. Remember, half-time in Munich, it is Denmark 0, Serbia 0.
Second half of both games on the way during half-time. We'll discuss the fact that Austria have topped their group this afternoon. The French finished second. The Dutch will go through as one of the best third-place sides. First of all, Dan Maudsley in the news.
The voice of the UK.
And the home of the Euros and the general election 2024.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Labour has suspended one of its candidates after hearing from the Gambling Commission that he's being investigated. Kevin Craig has apologised for betting that the Conservatives would win the seat that he's contesting. Well, the Conservatives withdrew support for 2 of their candidates this morning. Craig Williams and Laura Saunders are being looked at by the gambling watchdog for alleged bets on the date of the election. They've denied wrongdoing. The Metropolitan Police says 5 more officers based in Westminster are being investigated by the Gambling Commission for similar allegations, and that may not be the end of it. Here's our political editor, Chris Mason.
Here we are so close to the election. I thought I couldn't be surprised by politics anymore after what we've seen in the last couple of years, frankly, what we've seen in much of the last decade. And then you get days like today, where we seem to be well into the kind of you couldn't make it up territory. And here is the thing, there is every prospect that there is more to come. And what are we, just a week and a couple of days away from polling day? It's astonishing.
Well, indeed, there is more to come, because we are now hearing a fifth Conservative is being looked into by the Gambling Commission over a bet about the timing of the election. Russell George, who's a member of the Welsh Parliament, has stepped back from his party's shadow cabinet and says he will cooperate fully. Police in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, have shot dead at least 5 people during huge protests against planned tax increases. The crowds broke through police cordons and set fire to part of the country's parliament building. About 40 people are being treated in hospital. And North Yorkshire police say 4 men have been arrested on suspicion of aggravated trespass at Rishi Sunak's home in Kirkby Sigston near Northallerton. They were detained within a minute of entering the grounds and remain in police custody for questioning.
Wimbledon, where every little detail can make the difference. Get closer to the action.
Bonjour is the unseeded champion. How has this happened?
Join us down at SW19 for Wimbledon 2024.
Carefully laid plans have been reduced to dust.
Starts Monday
on BBC Radio 5 Live.
Euro 2024 Deutschland.
With Mark Chapman.
On 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
England 0, Slovenia 0 here in Köln. There's also Denmark 0, Serbia 0. England would go through as group winners. Great game earlier. Austria beat the Netherlands 3-2, so they finished top of Group D. France drew 1-1. With already out Poland, which means they finished second in the group. The Netherlands go through as a best placed third team, and they could meet England if England were to win the group. That's one of the possibilities now for England. But let's talk to Watford's goalkeeper, Daniel Bachmann, who has got 14 caps for Austria. Evening, Daniel. We spoke before that first game against the French, and now 3 games later, Austria go through as group winners. Was that how you envisaged it?
Yeah, evening. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? Before the Euros, when the groups came out, I don't think many people would have given Austria a really good chance to go through, and I don't think anyone would have thought that they could possibly top that group. So it's obviously speaks for the work that Ralph Rangnick's done, and also for the effort that players have put in.
They've just played some really good stuff in all 3 games. Even in the defeat to the French, they caused the French some problems, and the Poland game was fantastic, and today.
Yeah, I think the France result was a bit harsh in the end, really, because other than the chance in the second half that Mbappe missed when he was through on goal, I don't think they had any other clear-cut chances. Austria obviously had a massive one just before France scored the goal, and if Austria scored that, it's probably a different outcome to the game as well. So they've given France a really good game. Obviously, I wouldn't say battered Poland, but they gave them a good seeing to. And then obviously today again against the top team, like we spoke a few days ago. Obviously they beat Germany not that long ago, and then another big scalp for them today, going into the round of 16 as group winners in one of the toughest groups of the championship.
Do you think people will now treat them differently, and how do you think that will affect them as a group? Because they can't be dark horses anymore, can they?
No, I just think I don't think it'll affect the players at all. I just think because of the way they play, their best attribute is the pressing and the high intensity. So there's not too much that can go wrong when it comes to the playing with the ball. And obviously they've got quality players and they play some great football. But the biggest problems for the opposition teams is the high intensity and the pressing. So that's not really something that can be changed by pressure or by having a different goal now. Now you're out of the group stage with such an impressive run of games as well. I don't think that'll faze them at all, regardless of what's obviously coming from the press. And of course there'll be conversations I've had now if they could go all the way, which I think they can. It's early to say, but just from watching their 3 group games, I don't think any team will want to play them.
Just a final one on it as well, and I think Ralph Rangnick has said this, they don't play until July the 2nd in Leipzig. So July the 2nd is next Tuesday, I think. So they've got a week to prepare for their last 16 game. But given how he works them, given the plans, given the fitness, that gap is huge for them.
Yes, it's massive for them. I mean, I think he made a few changes today in the game. He's obviously rested a couple of players. And now, like you say, he's got a full week for them to recover, because the way they play is intense and it is incredibly hard work, and you have to be incredibly fit to be a starter in a team or to be involved in that team as an outfield player. So to have that extra week now, that full week of recovery before the last 16 game, will stand them in really good stead going forward, just because of the way they play, and that's their identity, and they can rely on that next Tuesday knowing they're not going to be tired.
Daniel, thank you very much. I just want to bring Joe Hart in. England are out and they're going to make a change. Joe, that was Daniel Batman, by the way, Austria goalkeeper. Kobbie Mainoo's going to come on for Conor Gallagher here. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think it's something that the team will be looking forward to, and that's a really forward-thinking move.
Joe, thank you. We will see you later.
Surprised me, I didn't know that was happening.
What? Me talking to you, or the sub, or
the
everything?
Sub?
Yeah, I know. That's what I was telling you.
Oh, right, okay.
You're in the clouds there, big man.
Miles away, aren't I? Miles off it. Sorry.
We'll send you back to your own little world, Joe. We'll see you later. Joe Hart with us. So that is the change. Kobbie Mainoo on for Conor Gallagher. I'm sure we'll get the thoughts of Izzy and Conor very shortly after John.
Yeah, in fact, let's do that, because Slovenia are just about to kick off. What about that? We weren't necessarily expecting that, were we? I mean, Conor Gallagher could have an issue, of course.
Yeah, I think Conor Gallagher struggled to get in the game, but I mean, I like it. I think, a lot of England fans have been calling for Kobbie Mainoo to come in because of the season that he's had at Manchester United, and the dynamic kind of nature of his game, and see how that affects Declan Rice as well. And maybe this is exactly what England need.
Connor?
Yeah, I think it's a sign of intent, John. I really do. I think it's a sign of intent from the manager that he's not happy with the first half. I think it's a sign of intent to put Kobbie in. And listen, he's a confident boy. We've watched him play for Manchester United all season. He doesn't seem very similar to Mark Gay, that anything really affects him. So hopefully he can get on the ball here, make it tick, and get the ball zipping for England.
Yeah, it's loading a lot onto the shoulders of the 19-year-old that he is, coming on as a substitute, as he did in the first match against the Serbs. But England 0, Slovenia 0. Referee Clement Turpin is just about ready. He's waiting for the nod. Both matches are level at 0-0. Neither of them has lit up this German summer evening, certainly judging by what we're hearing from Maz. But it means that England would be going through as group winners, Denmark in second, and Slovenia as one of the third place sides. And we're still waiting. There we are. There's the whistle. I guess they probably had to wait till the match began, the other match between Denmark and Serbia. That's what they were waiting for. So finally we're underway. In fact, they haven't started yet, so they weren't waiting for that. I don't know what they were waiting for. Anyway, we're underway. England with Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones, Gay and Trippier, and now Kobbie Mainoo into the midfield alongside Rice, Saka, Bellingham, Foden and Kane. So Slovenia, as they started the match, are parked inside their own half. Oblak, the goalkeeper, he made a couple of saves, but straightforward saves. Karničnik at right back, Drakušić, Bijol and Janja, the back four. Stojanovic on the right, Čerín and Elšnik in the middle, Mlaka on the left, and then Špora and Šeško, who had one header. Pickford's really had next to nothing to do and very comfortably saved that header. And the other match is underway now. Here comes Foden for England. Forward through to Rice. Now out to the left-hand side to Trippier, Jude Bellingham. There are England flags draped in every little corner of this Cologne stadium, all around the side of the pitch, apart from the Slovenian section as well, where they're here in great numbers, around about 9,000 of them, as Kobbie Mainoo gets his first touch now. That's assured. Back to the halfway line to Mark Gay. Kieran Trippier makes himself available on the left-hand side. Foden. Trippier points forward. Foden. But Foden moves infield. Kobbie Mainoo, number 26, on his back. Declan Rice comes short. Then to the left-hand side. Bellingham is there. Bellingham turning up against Karničnik. Slips the ball to Mainoo, who plays it back behind Trippier. And Trippier just does that calm down motion with his palms of his hands. Bellingham again on the left-hand side. Bellingham dummy to cross, then carries the ball into the central area, but turns and gives it back to Trippier. They want him to get it on his right foot, but just got it caught up underneath his feet. And it's very, very static again. Foden now to Bellingham. Trippier couldn't find the pass. And now Slovenia will break away with a ball centrally. Walker tried to get there, but the cover was there actually from Bukayo Saka in the end. So England in the all-white kit with the blue stripe down the sides against Slovenia, who are all in royal blue tonight. Saka goes between two Slovenian players. That's a heavy touch by Kane, bounces off Šeško, then back to Kane, who actually plays it between his two central defenders, and England end up going all the way back to Pickford.
Yeah, what Slovenia are doing is exactly the same as what they did in the first half. They've got two banks of four and their two strikers. They're being relatively passive with their pressure, and when the ball goes central into the likes of Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, that is when Slovenia get tight, they push and they try and force England into mistakes.
The cream-shirted Gareth Southgate is there, standing on the edge of the coaching area, having made his first change. He's not made the full 5 substitutions in either of the matches so far. England with Foden, again on that far side. Rolls it across to Saka, who's quite central actually. Then Bellingham helps it on to Walker. And Saka's continued his run. He gets a blatant shove in the back, but keeps his feet, Saka, and is able to find the pass to Menu. Menu then into Bellingham, inside the penalty area. Defenders are there. Bellingham keeps possession and actually sees that it takes a touch off the defender, and it's behind for a corner. Yeah,
it's brilliant from Bukayo Saka again. Connor was saying at half-time, we've got to pump the ball out to him. His full-back he's up against is on a yellow card, and that is what England are doing. And it's Kobbie Mainoo finding himself in an advanced position. He just plays a cheeky little pass inside to Jude Bellingham, and England get the corner.
It's taken quickly and short by Trippier to Foden, then Mainoo. Foden wanted it back from Mainoo, but he went infield, the Manchester United youngster. Then Rice with the ball into the area. Kane heads it square. Thought he might have gone for goal there, Kane, in amongst a crowd of players. Slovenia clear it. Walker couldn't find the pass, was looking for Saka. It's probably the right intention. However, bounces to Mainoo. Mainoo couldn't get past his man, Foden. Oh, lovely footwork from Foden. Little ball to his left to Jude Bellingham. Now Trippier is there. Rice, then Mainoo. First time touch from him. Bellingham central, almost found a way to Kane. Šeško chests it down. This is good pressure from England at the start of the second half. Gay beats Sporar quite comfortably. Excellent work once again from Mark Gay, one of England's best players at this tournament. Then Saka, Kane on the right in the area with a cross that is slid behind for a corner to England from the right.
Oh, Mark Gay, tell you what, we spoke about in pre-match about how confident and assured he looked, but my word, that was classy from him. Just setting England back up on the attack, and another corner for them.
5 Live, BBC Sounds, that's where you find us at this European Championship, all over Germany, bringing you the commentaries which are at the heart of what we do. Every match is live, and tonight here in sweltering Cologne, or Köln, as Mark Chapman, I notice, has gone with. Trippier to take the corner deep towards Kane, who heads it across the box, and then that's cleared up in the air, still in the box, header away by Drakušić, then fired back in from Foden, but through a crowd of players. It was bouncing wide anyway, and a goal kick. Better pressure, Conor Cody?
Yeah, good pressure. We started the second half really well, on the front foot, trying to play in the opposition half, which I really like, and just being patient, be a little bit patient. Can we force it out wide a little bit to Bukayo, just to get in 1v1, but it's a better start to the second half for England.
England 0, Slovenia 0. So Kobbie Mainoo on at half-time. I notice there are 10 players in the England squad who've not got onto the field yet, whereas the Spanish, having made all of those changes yesterday, they've used everyone but the third-choice goalkeeper. Here's Rice. That's the luxury, isn't it, of getting your 2 wins early. 0-0 here, 0-0 in the Denmark-Serbia match, as Kyle Walker carries it forward. So the table in this group, it changed time and again in the earlier matches when I was listening earlier to Lee Blakeman and Stephen Warnock with the commentary on the exciting Netherlands-Austria game. That group changed all the time. This is static, which reflects the level of goal-mouth entertainment in these 2 matches. England, 6 minutes into the second half. Here's Foden. Then back to Stones, Mark Gay. who will be doing his reputation no harm, this young Crystal Palace defender, putting his foot on the ball and then chipping it to Walker, who is dragging it onto his right foot and playing a little pass forward to Kobbie Mainoo. Saka is here as well. Back to Walker again, infield to Foden in a central area. Foden very nearly found the ball through to Saka. That's what England are looking for, that killer pass. It just hasn't come yet around the edge of the Slovenian penalty area. Rice goes in for the challenge. I think Slovenia wanted a free kick for that. Jumped all over Elshnik. It wasn't given. Rice gets up. He's feeling his back there, I noticed, Rice, but he is back in the action. And England with it on the left-hand side with Bellingham. Now Harry Kane. Kane goes for a high crossfield pass. Walker's in the box. First time volley across, but he got that all wrong. I know what he was trying to do, and you might have just heard the tap of the post by Phil Foden. More frustration for England.
Yeah, it's a wonderful crossfield ball, and Kyle Walker is the spare man at the back post for England, and you can see what he's trying to do. We've seen him do it for Manchester City. He's put it back into that 6-yard area first time to cause issues, but he just doesn't execute the ball. But what I would say, John, is that breeze inside the stadium is absolutely delightful.
Isn't it just? That's your classic cooling summer breeze blowing across western Germany. Here's Rice inside his own half, finding Walker. And now it's the Slovenian supporters all jumping up and down as Kane plays it into Bellingham inside the box. Defender was with him. He took a lovely touch which took it back towards the edge of the box, and the recovering Biol came in with a challenge which deflected off Bellingham. And Bellingham runs to the referee. He's got to be careful because it's the captain who's the only one who can do that. But he asked the question, and referee Turpan just turned away and said goal kick.
Yeah, it's a proper good 50-50 that between Bellingham and Biol, the centre-back. Yeah, but Bellingham does respond.
Nice turn by Cherin for Slovenia, and then plays it just behind Stojanovic on the right-hand side. In comes the challenge. Slovenia being forced back. This is the press that's been much discussed as Kane leads it, and Slovenia go all the way back to goalkeeper Oblak. Slovenia, just the second time that they've been at the European Championship as Slovenia, and they have never reached the knockout stage at either a European Championship or a World Cup. Gay with a nice soft touch there to Trippier on the far side. Foden into Mainoo. The only match that they've won at a major tournament was in that group in South Africa when they beat Algeria, and then in the third match, not the greatest match that was either, if you remember. Jermaine Defoe scored the winner, and England eventually progressed second place in that group back in 2010. Stones plays it across to Gay, now out to the left-hand side to Trippier. Bellingham then just very casually plays it back to Gay. Excellent noise from the Slovenians at the moment. They're winning that little contest between the two sets of fans. They're outnumbered almost 2-1. Saka, mind you, Slovenia is the smallest country here, just 2 million people. Ball out from Trippier to Bellingham. Bellingham lifts the ball to the edge of the box. That is headed away by Biol, won back by Rice. Rice finds the pass to the England number 10, Jude Bellingham. He's able to turn back and play it to Declan Rice, then through to Mainoo, who's very firmly challenged. That's a free kick. The big number 21, Drakušić, just tanked into the back of Kobbie Mainoo and conceded the free kick.
Yeah, he's come right through the back of Kobbie Mainoo there, hasn't he? Really aggressive front foot defending. But England's best moments are coming from second phases, loose balls, and that's okay as long as they do something with it. And they've got set piece in another good area.
We've got just over half an hour to play, and still it is deadlock between England and Slovenia. Trippier and Foden. This free kick is over towards the left-hand side, all of 30 yards from goal with the angle. Trippier on his right foot, Foden on his left. It is the delivery from Foden. Kane, oh no, it was just headed away. Biol got to it. Played back in by Saka, flicked to the back post. Rice is chasing, but it took a touch off a defender's head. Corner from the left.
Yeah, it's a brilliant defensive clearance from Biol, a centre-back for Slovenia. He just gets a nick on it to push it away because Harry Kane is lurking behind him.
He was lurking with intent. Foden is going to take this corner. 3 England players round the penalty spot, 2 more closer to the edge of the box. Here's the delivery from the corner, from Foden, outswinger, Kane's after it, it's headed down, blocked by Šeško, nodded across by Gay, Šeško heads it again, Gay then deflected goalwards, and the referee has blown the whistle. I think the challenge from Bukayo Saka on the edge of the 6-yard box, I think he's fouled the Slovenian defender, and the free kick has been given, and it was blocked on the line by Šeško, the initial effort. It was a real scramble, and then Saka was going for an overhead kick, wasn't he? And that's conceded the free kick. And he did catch, I think it was Beale, wasn't it, in the face? And, oh no, Sporar it was. Sporar, who's just got to his feet. So he's receiving some treatment, so let's see what's happening in the Denmark-Serbia match. Anything like a goal there, Maz Faruqi?
Well, Serbia have had the ball in the net, John. Tadic and Jovic, who are on in this second half now, combining, but not one but 2 Serbia players were offside, so no goal. But those 2 on the pitch now are a reflection of what Serbia know they have to do in this second half, try and win to progress to the knockout stages. It is still, though, Denmark 0, Serbia now.
So that means England going through as group winners, Denmark in second, Slovenia in third, and England would be playing one of the third-place sides, very possibly the Netherlands, in the round of 16. What about an overview from you, Izzy Christiansen, on what we've seen so far with almost an hour played?
Well, we expected a response in the second half. I would say I think there's been a slight improvement from the first half performance. I think Kobbie Mainoo's come in and he's getting in there, he's progressing the ball up now.
And here he is, doing exactly that. Mainoo through to Kane, but running from deep, running from almost the halfway line. Here is Saka, then back to Walker. Sporar is back on the field, by the way. I think he just got a little bit of a kick in the face. Now Saka trying to find it in the area, headed away to Kane, in comes the challenge on him. I think this will roll all the way to Kieran Trippier, it does. In fact, Bellingham takes it on, gives it to Foden on the left-hand side. England pinning Slovenia back in there. They're absolutely dominating the possession. Slovenia are not an easy team to find a way through. We can see that, we know that. They're in form, 1 defeat in their last 14 matches. Rice, though, runs on down into the full-back position, gives it back, Bellingham, little touch from him to Foden. Now Kobbie Mainoo, back to his fellow greater Mancunian, Phil Foden. Foden with Rice out there as well. Rice goes for the long pass across the pitch. Walker chests it down to Bukayo Saka, then back to Walker again. England now looking to try and probe on the right. There's space here for Foden in the central area, but Foden was challenged by Sporar, who just got a touch on that. England come again though, Gay with a positive pass. Now Mainoo with the cross, it's over Kane, it'll bounce all the way to Bellingham, who allows it to run away into the full-back position. Bellingham curls a low one back to Rice, Rice onto his right foot, Foden on the edge of the area, back to Rice again, but no, again breaks down on the edge of the box, and Slovenia look to break. The England supporters encouraged by this though.
Yeah, they are, but Slovenia's discipline and how well they're coached is really showing in this very moment. They're not diving in, they're being clean, they're staying structured, but good possession for England here.
Yeah, Mainoo, who's definitely brought something to this England performance. Walker takes on his defender, Walker then to the byline, pulls it across, but the ball was out before Walker got there, even though it was cleared away in the centre. And is he okay, Kyle Walker? Did he slide into the hoardings?
Yeah, just watching a replay, he did a classic kick and run, and he's got the pace, and I couldn't believe he even managed to get to that ball. He's so quick, Kyle Walker, but yeah, his momentum's taking him in almost into the Slovenian fans behind that goal.
Let's bring in Conor Cody again of Leicester City in England, in Gareth Southgate's squad at the last 2 tournaments. What are you thinking, Conor?
Yeah, it's better, John. It's better. We're on the front foot, we're playing forward, we're passing forward. I still think we can use the flanks a little bit more with Saka. I know Foden's coming on that left-hand side where he likes to play, but I still think we can use the flanks outside with Kyle Walker and Bukayo Saka, but a lot better. We're on the front foot, like I said. Mark Gay and John Stones sustain in attacks, and hopefully we keep on going now and take advantage of this.
Yep, Jordan Pickford has barely touched the ball in the second half, but he's got it now as he passes it out to John Stones. England 0, Slovenia 0. 5 Live from the BBC. BBC Sounds as well, that's where you get the Football Daily, get the Euros, all of our podcast offerings, many new ones for the Euros as well, like You'll Never Beat Kyle Walker and Wayne Rooney's My Euro 2004, all on BBC Sounds. Here's Saka for England, Mainoo, back to Saka on the right. He's got a little bit of space here, but the referee's brought it back for, was that a flailing arm? Whatever it was, it's given us a free kick for Slovenia.
Yeah, There's a 1-2 between Bukayo Saka and Kobbie Mainoo, and already you can just see the impact that Kobbie Mainoo is having. Very simple, effective football, doing a 1-2 with Saka down the wing, and I think the referee's pulled Saka back for the trailing arm, like you say, John, on his full-back.
Just a bit of wrestling, wasn't it, between the two? There wasn't much in it. And Janja will be suspended for the next match if Slovenia do get through. Again, the Slovenian supporters trying to do their bit. England are attacking towards that end, and most of them in the white shirts on this beautiful evening are bouncing up and down in unison. As Gay might have been fouled, no he wasn't, but Stones was there as the covering defender to put the ball out of play and amongst those ranks of England fans and flags on the far side. Throw in that Slovenia take. Slovenia, rare foray into the England half. Chirin now into the edge of the area to Spola. Chirin on his left foot, got to be careful, but hits it, slices it well wide actually. It went out of play midway between the goal and the corner flag.
Yeah, he's shown sparks this tournament, Chirin, a central midfielder for Slovenia, of breaking out of that midfield and into the forward line. He's creative and he's got confidence. He tried the shot on his left foot, but definitely didn't connect with it well at all.
It remains goalless on this warm evening. Tough for Slovenia without the ball in these conditions. England have made them work. Stones taking the ball away from the edge of the England penalty area. The England fans now responding with one of their famous chants, as you can hear. Gay in possession. Now forward towards John Stones. Stones has got Walker available. Here's Kobbie Mainoo, and the young Manchester United man back to the Manchester City defender. John Stones, square to Mark Gay. Gay goes for the long pass towards Walker, who gets up, heads it in field. Kobbie Mainoo slips over, but Walker's able... Bukayo Saka is able to keep possession for England. Now Gay through the middle towards Bellingham. Bellingham tall, statuesque, to Kyle Walker. Now to the right-hand side to Bukayo Saka. Saka, two men on it. Walker's available. Uses Kyle Walker near the right corner of the box. Kobbie Mainoo's out there as well. Bellingham makes a run into the box, but still Kobbie Mainoo with a ball at his feet. Kyle Walker behind it. Walker. Declan Rice is able to get there ahead of Šeško, but then the pass from Rice is one side of Saka, and it will roll all the way through for a goal kick. Again, it's just lacking that spot. That's just lacking that final ball, that piece of quality.
Yeah, it's just a loose pass from Declan Rice.
Well, there's a Slovenian player who, while I was looking at you, it's Janja, the left back, who's now gone down off the field. In fact, he was shepherding the ball out, and Bellingham was chasing it, and he's basically making out that he's got a knee in the back.
Yeah, he's trying to be clever, Janja, and trying to kid the referee, because it's Jude Bellingham coming at him at pace. He's done well to shepherd the ball out, Janja, and he just feels the impact of Jude Bellingham and tries to con the referee, but the referee's having none of it.
Still 0-0 in both matches tonight. Not sure that this group is going to live long in the memory, years to come. Remember Euro 2024? What happened in that group again? We'll have to get the record books out. But for England, this scoreline means they would be going through as group winners. However, if Denmark scored, that would change things. And were Denmark to go 1-0 up, England would drop down to second in the group by virtue of the number of goals scored. But it is England currently top of the table. Slovenia playing the ball back to Bijol. Harry Kane forces him to hit it long, headed forward towards Šeško. Slovenia yet to make a change on this warm evening, and we are well into the last half hour now. Maciej Kek must be thinking about a change, you would think. Trippier to Foden, then back to Trippier, and Kieran Trippier just uses Phil Foden. Then Trippier again, there's no movement ahead of him, so it goes square again to Mark Gay. And then Kyle Walker, Saka on the right-hand side. Kyle Walker again. Slovenia just happy to sit off the ball. There will be a 6:06, by the way, to talk about this England performance with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, and the lines, I do believe, are open on 08085 909 693 once we've wrapped things up here in Cologne. Still England in possession while I was telling you that. Walker, now Saka is able to play a ball. That's pace here to Kane on the edge of the area, but B always able to clear it away. Headed forward by Rice. Now Foden to the right hand side. Walker is there. Harry Kane available on the edge of the box. Instead it's Mainu square towards Foden. Now Saka in a central area. Back to Mark Gay. Gay looks up. Saka in front of him. Left to his right to Rice. Now Foden through the middle. Foden wriggles away, going into the tight space, goes down in between two Slovenian players, but referee Turpin is not giving the free kick, and Gay now has got to be careful. Sporra's pulled him back blatantly. Sporra goes down. Stones was there as a covering defender, so it is only a yellow card, but that was very, very dangerous from Mark Gay.
He's a very lucky boy, Mark Gay. He's been exceptional all tournament. But that one there, he's just let Sporra pick up the loose ball, and he's had to tug him down. He's pulled his shirt. The referee's seen it because Sporra was away, and he had his strike partnership, Sheska, right up there with him.
That was dicing with danger, Conor Cody.
Yeah, John, yeah, it was. And it was a miscommunication in the middle of the pitch from John Stones and Mark Gay. And I think Mark Gay thought John Stones was going to take charge and vice versa. And it's tough, but you've got to stay switched on at all times. These are a tough team to beat on the counter-attack. That's the only time they're going to hurt us, John, on the counter-attack. That's the only thing they're going to do. So we have to make sure that we stop the counter-attack from Slovenia.
Well, I have news that I think will be welcomed by the England supporters. Cole Palmer is going to come on as a substitute for his first taste of action at this tournament. Gareth Southgate is speaking to him, but it's a free kick to Slovenia first of all, and
there's no there is a correlation between the decibel levels in here with the England fans and that man there down there, Cole Palmer, getting ready to come on, because they've seen that, they're responding to that. They know that he could be the man that unlocks this match for England.
Yeah, they've been itching for him to be given an opportunity. We didn't see him in the first two matches. There was a little bit of talk that maybe there was an injury issue. However, free kick for Slovenia first of all, and Shireen with his right foot. This could test Pickford. Two-man wall. In actual fact, it is played in left-footed by Janja, and Bellingham's gone down inside the box. The referee's given the free kick. The free kick was overhit anyway, and that was a massive wasted opportunity for Slovenia.
Yeah, it was a big waste from Slovenia, but obviously from an England perspective, a really good line. Jude Bellingham looks like he might have copped one there. Yeah, he just... dear. He takes one on. Yeah, Sporra just catches Jude Bellingham, but I think Jude Bellingham's actually gone down a little bit too easily there, but nonetheless, just relieved a bit of pressure for England.
Well, it is a straight swap. I think Bukayo Saka, Connor, is the man who makes way. Cole Palmer coming on.
Yeah, and I think everyone's excited by Cole Palmer, and listen, I think he's put him on there to get at Janja. I think, like we said in the first half, he's on a booking. Give Cole Palmer the ball and let him run. By the way, John, the England fans have been incredible, haven't they?
Yeah, it's the noise levels in here. They've had a great day, as Jim Borden used to say, in the sunshine of Cologne. They'll have enjoyed themselves. I'm pleased to say that everything seems to be calm. There's no talk of trouble, which was a big fear. But what a cheer that was when Cole Palmer's name went up on the board, and on he comes, this 22-year-old who's had a brilliant season, the Premier League Young Player of the Season, and now he's playing at the Euros for England. John Stones, his former teammate. Here's Declan Rice. Palmer, number 24 in his back. It's been a fairy tale style script that he's had this season from the moment he made that move from Manchester City. And now he's hugging the touchline on the right-hand side as England have possession. I think that's the sort of positive move that the England supporters will have applauded from Gareth Southgate. But particularly if it does actually come off. It's 0-0, and it's still 0-0 in the Denmark-Serbia match. So England, with these scorelines, are going through as group winners. Declan Rice, now to John Stones. Here's Palmer, here's his first touch of the ball from Foden. And then Kobbie Mainoo as well. All of these Mancunians on the field together. Kane goes for us. Biol and is pulled over, blatantly pulled back, and Biol surely will be booked for that. And also, when you think, Biol very fortunate not to be yellow carded already, and that is a booking for him.
Yeah, and he is a very lucky boy. Biol, the Slovenian centre-back, he just loses that duel with Harry Kane. Harry Kane drives away from him and he tugs him down, a little bit similar to Mark Gay earlier at the other end of the pitch. But already Cole Palmer's body shape, by the way, he looks lively, dynamic, and he just wants the ball at his feet.
England 0, Slovenia 0. 72 minutes on the clock. And England with this free kick, won by the captain, won by Harry Kane. And standing over the ball, Trippier and Foden, as the referee marks out the white line. So a three-man wall has been put up by Jan Oblak. Oblak, who's just had a couple of routine saves to make so far in this match. All in black, he's lining up his wall and then moves back into a central position. Foden speaks into the ear of Kieran Trippier. It's Trippier who's placing it, which makes it look like he's going to deliver it to the back post. Declan Rice is there, just hitching up his shorts. He's ready. Bellingham's ready as well. Referee's whistle's gone. Trippier with the free kick into the back post. Gay heads it back, but heads it out of the box. But Palmer's the first man there for England. And in comes Drakušić with the challenge. Throw-in is taken back to the halfway line by Walker. And then Walker. Trippier's the furthest outfield player back for England. And then Foden and Trippier actually roll it all the way back for a rare touch again for Jordan Pickford. If he keeps a clean sheet tonight, Pickford, he'll break Peter Shilton's record of clean sheets for England at major tournaments. There is a Slovenian change coming presently. Just trying to see who it is, but England with the ball on the left-hand side. Mark Gay. Rice drops into the centre circle, makes himself available. Here's Kyle Walker now, and Walker sees Phil Foden in a central area. Foden then to the far side towards Trippier. Cole Palmer stayed out there on the left-hand side, actually. Having been out there, he takes on his men. Two of them there, and then in comes the challenge from Stojanovic to put it out of play. Palmer immediately takes the throw. Back to Declan Rice. Rice does well. He beats his man. Now takes on Karničny. Then Rice gets it back and shoots across the face of goal. There's gasps from the England fans at the other end. I'm not sure it was terribly close, but that was better again from England.
Yeah, it was a snapshot from Declan Rice. He just took it quickly after that little bit of build-up play with himself and Foden, finding himself more advanced, Declan Rice. But I tell you what, that's the first time I've actually seen an England-wide player, in this instance Cole Palmer, out on that left-hand side, actually take his fullback on down the outside, and all of a sudden it looked like the world had opened up and we had a bit of natural width.
And a big cheer from the Slovenian fans. Šeško is off. You know, he has been carrying an injury, so he's been substituted with 15 minutes ago. And a massive cheer for Josip Ilicic, who is such a favourite, was recalled for these Euros after a couple of years out of the international picture. He's the veteran at 36 years old, so the number 26 is on to win his 82nd cap for Slovenia. And the England fans respond with the anthem. England 0, Slovenia 0. It's a match that Izzy has not really matched the atmosphere in the stands.
No, it hasn't, and I also think the England fans are just applauding the fact that the sun's gone in and they can cool off for a bit.
Still sweltering though.
They've been unbelievable though, like Connor was saying. The noise is incredible.
Yeah, they just want a goal in this match. Only two goals scored by England in the three matches, but crucially, only one conceded so far. 0-0. And Biol across to Drakušić. His pass forward. Trippier gets there first, heads to the halfway line, and then a backheel flick into his own half for Drakušić. Uses Oblak. Harry Kane is closest to him. Oblak's ball to the halfway line. Rice has been hauled over there. The referee plays the advantage, and it's a good advantage as Foden's able to volley the ball. Lovely touch to Walker. Now Cole Palmer back on the right-hand side. Palmer, lovely ball through. Mainu across, there's no one there. Played it behind Harry Kane's run, but much better. And the excellent pass through from Cole Palmer as, it's a yellow card for Foden for a challenge centre field. So Phil Foden picks up a booking. That was a cheap one.
Yeah, that was cheap, but yeah, just watching it back, it's Declan Rice that's doing the sweeping up. He causes the foul, and I didn't quite see what Foden was booked for then. Was it a bit of dissent, perhaps?
Yeah, must have been, yeah. And it was, and then you could tell from the way that he sort of flapped his hand as, I can't believe you booked me for that. What about the Palmer pass, Connor?
Fantastic pass, and when England become good and they have a couple of chances, it's not difficult play. It's quite simple what they're doing. It's runs in behind, it's lovely passes in behind, which these players are capable of because they're fantastic players, and it's not that hard, it's not that difficult. So just keep being simple, keep forcing the issue and playing them simple passes.
So it's still 0-0 in both matches. Stones to Walker. Now here's Cole Palmer again. He's brought a bit of life to this England performance. Palmer then chips it forward. This is for Kane. That was beautifully weighted as well. Kane's ball across to the back post is slid behind by Karnichnik with Foden waiting behind him. Corner.
Kane, what a run, and Foden's coming in at the back post on that far left-hand side, and Harry Kane looks up and he's only got one place and one person to aim for, and he almost finds Foden. It's almost exceptional from Harry Kane.
Yeah, it's almost as if Harry Kane's saying, I like the look of this from Palmer and what he might be able to provide for me. Foden with a corner from the left for England. High one over the top of Stones. Kane got his head to it and is adjudged to have been fouling his defender, and it's a free kick to Slovenia inside their own box. There are low fives from the Slovenians. They are awkward opponents. They're unbeaten at the tournament. It might be 3 draws out of 3 for them, but they certainly won't have given up hope of potentially winning this match. Could be a tense last 10 minutes, Connor.
Yeah, Cole Palmer's helped though, John. He's helped, a little bit of an injection of pace, a little bit of authority coming inside, playing forward, passing forward, running forward. We know his qualities anyway, but he's just given this game a little bit of life, I think.
0-0 as Foden deflects the ball out for a throw-in on the halfway line. More live sport tomorrow, so there are 2 commentary times tomorrow when Groups E and F will be decided. You'll hear the commentaries with us on 5 Live, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You know the drill by now as the ball is played back to Pickford. He'll just pass it out to Walker. He's going to just allow the ball to run and then take it away from Malacca. And also tomorrow more cricket commentary. Feels like the cricket season as the county championship matches will conclude, and England-New Zealand from 1 o'clock as well, the women's ODI from 12:45 on Sports Extra. That's all the live sport tomorrow. But now we are almost into the last 10 minutes here. Forgettable match, a wonderful atmosphere. Walker on the halfway line. Walker to Palmer. Palmer turning, twisting, taking on Janja. Janja did well actually. Menu, Bellingham wants to get into this act with Palmer. Menu as well, all very close, tight quarters, and then it's played away. But Walker's onto this, but there's a man down. Janja's down again, and the referee has stopped play. And that was very kind of the referee to stop play for Janja being down. It's not a head injury.
There's no contact there. He's gone down. I think he's asking for a bit of treatment, but what he is doing now is he's using game management tactics. He's recognised that England are just starting to turn the screw. Yeah. He's just sucking the momentum out of England's attacks.
This is the benefit here of I don't know why he stopped playing in the first place, but the referee is saying to the Slovenian medical people, come on then, on the field, treat him. And Janja has to get to his feet. However, it's disrupted the play, as you said. Free kick starts with a drop ball. England, with these scorelines 10 minutes away from finishing as group winners in not the most wholly convincing style, but a group win is a group win, I suppose. But it can change yet. Still 0-0 in both matches. Palmer goes one way or the other, then beats his man, flick from Menu. Bellingham on the edge of the box. Bellingham works it back, and actually Rice loses out in the challenge. Slovenia will break as the ball is played out here, and I don't think Elshnik's going to keep it in. No, he's not. It's out of play, and England are going to make another change. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, as we suspected, Izzy, is going to come on as a substitute.
Yeah, I had a funny feeling he'd enter the pitch at some point, and predicted that he will have an impact as well, but we'll see about that. But again, Cole Palmer getting on the outside of the fullback, getting the fans off their seats. It's what we want to see.
Still 0-0. Palmer though again, dangerous ball, headed away on the edge of the box. I feel like I've said that every time Palmer has been on it. You know, he's already brought a great deal to this England performance, and England fans will be saying, where was he? Here's Bellingham through the middle, Bellingham out to the left hand side to Trippier. England sending white shirts forward. Trippier back to Declan Rice. Rice across to John Stones. Trent Alexander-Arnold standing with Gareth Southgate, gets a little pat on the back. We will bring you the interviews during 6:06 as well. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton standing by to take your calls on what you thought of the England performance tonight. 08085 909 693. Robbie in the studio, the 5 Live studio. Chris here in Germany, up in Essen. Here's Rice. Rice's ball aerially for Kane to chase, bounces into the penalty area. Bellingham's there as well. Kane has to take it out and then plays it back to Foden. Left foot shot from him, that's blocked by Elshneek on the edge of the box. Again, England take up possession. Foden 30 yards from the goal, square towards Walker. Now here's the danger man, Palmer again. Palmer taking on Janja onto his left foot, ball into the area, awkward for Biol, just shanks it up in the air, headed away by Janja. Then Slovenia back to the edge of the box where Drakušić just fires it away downfield. Gay's got to be careful, which he is, heads it down, but he's got to play it back to Pickford. And there was a big figure of Ilicic after it, and then there's a foul on the halfway line because Janja's won another free kick.
Yeah, he's up to all the tricks in the book, Janja, but I tell you what, he's had a fantastic game at left back for Slovenia. He just comes through the back of Cole Palmer. Oh, come on, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think he's given it for head contact, but there wasn't anything in it.
Frustrating, Connor.
Yeah, but you know what, John, they're doing it well. We've all been there, haven't we? We're drawing, we need a point, we need a win. We've got a good result, and we do things to try and win the game, and they're doing it well. And England have got to stand up to this. They've got to get round this. They've got to try and keep the ball on the deck and play properly.
If, as expected, they do get a place in the round of 16, then they will be difficult opponents, whoever they're playing. Alexander-Arnold is on for Trippier, so a rare sight of Kyle Walker at left back.
Yeah, I like this, to be honest with you, because Trent Alexander-Arnold's right foot is up there with one of the best in the world.
And here's the pass from him, long and downfield, that cut out by the shaven head of Drakušić on the edge of the box. Still 0-0. And now only a matter of 5.5 minutes left to play. We'll bring you the interviews during 6:06 with Gareth Southgate and the England players as Slovenia now make a double change. So Jan Mlaka is coming off from the left-hand side of the midfield, and Jon Gorent Stankovic of Sturm Graz is coming on to replace him. So Stankovic, the number 5, is on, and also coming off is Sporar. So a double change for Slovenia with Jan Sela coming on, who is a forward player, Sela, so that is a straight swap. The number 19, who plays in Switzerland with Lugano. So Jan Sela onto the field. England 0, Slovenia 0. And England winning a throw-in 10 yards inside their own half. Kyle Walker, the latest left back. England have run through a few, haven't they, in recent times with Luke Shaw's injury. And Anthony Gordon's also going to come on. Alexander-Arnold's ball in field missed Menu, it was behind him. So Slovenia will mount an attack here. A rare sight of Slovenia with the ball inside England territory. Here is Janja, then forward towards the newly arrived Stankovic. Declan Rice is able to step in. Menu with a little ball back to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold down in the right back area, out to Palmer. So Anthony Gordon's going to step into the tournament very shortly as Alexander-Arnold plays it centrally to Foden. Now back to Gay on the edge of the box. If England win this match, they will definitely go through as group winners, searching for a late goal to make sure that that happens. It is possible if Denmark were able to score a goal, that would change the picture. But it is still 0-0 in the other match against Serbia. Here is Pickford passing it forward towards Declan Rice. Now Foden in the centre circle. Foden just moves away from Shireen. Walker gets it onto his right foot. High crossfield pass from him. Looking for Cole Palmer. Palmer with a first-time touch, then runs into Janja and wins the free kick. Well, I don't think Janja will be very happy with that. I thought Palmer ran into him.
Yeah, it's interesting that, because just watching a replay here, the crossfield pass and the first touch from Cole Palmer is absolutely delightful, with the outside of his boot over the top of Janja, and he just gets in the way, doesn't he, Janja? It's good defending, but it's actually blocking Cole Palmer's path to get on the second phase of the ball. But it's a good position for England, and they've got Trent Alexander-Arnold over the ball as well now, whose delivery
that was
pretty good.
That was one of the touches of the tournament.
It was a fantastic touch, and there's some playing into their own game a little bit of taste of their own medicine, John, where we win our own foul in the attacking bit. And as Izzy said, this is a great chance here for Trent Alexander-Arnold on the pitch.
Yeah, 88th minute, still 0-0. Free kick out on the right-hand side. Foden or Alexander-Arnold. Brilliant deliverers both. The referee having some final words. Jude Bellingham, a bit of pushing and shoving. Foden to take, left-footed, headed down and cleared away. Should be cleared away on the edge of the box. In fact, it was passed away to Menu. I think he thought he conceded a free kick. Yes, he has. It has been given Slovenia's way. You can hear the anger of the England supporters. They've been wound up by Slovenia, but not sure there was a great deal in it. Stojanovic, but the referee saw it as a free kick. And Anthony Gordon now coming on to replace Phil Foden. How's he done tonight, Phil Foden?
Yeah, I think he's been better, more like the Phil Foden we know. He's picked up some excellent positions beyond the midfield line. He's moved outside, he's moved wide, he's gone in search for the ball, but that man there that's come on, he's jogging over to the left-hand side, Anthony Gordon. I think there's been a lot of England fans screaming for him to be out there, and he's a player I very much admire. Let's see how he can get on in these last few minutes.
Well, I think there'll have been, you know, a bit of ho-hum when the team was announced tonight, and there was just the one change. The England fans wanted to see Gordon, they wanted to see Palmer, Menu on the field, and now they are. Still 0-0 as the ball is flicked through from the ball downfield from Oblak to Jordan Pickford. We're in the 90th minute now, so if it's going to come late for England, it's going to come very late. Mind you, this has been the Euros of late goals. 9 goals scored, a record equalling 9 goals beyond the 90th minute. Here is Anthony Gordon for the first time, running at Karničnik, but his touch, as he tried to play it past him, took the ball out of play, and it's a throw into Slovenia, halfway inside their own half. So Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton standing by to take your calls. I think I know what the flavour of that will be, and it will be on at past after we've wrapped everything up here.
That's a late shift for Chris Sutton.
It is. They never close, the Suttons, as Janja is going to be substituted for the final minutes of the match with Balkovic coming on. The other point to make, by the way, is that this is going to see Croatia out, isn't it? This is going to confirm that Croatia will be out of the tournament, and it's virtually certain that Slovenia had to avoid a heavy defeat. So these are the last knockings of Croatia's time at Euro 2024. Biggest casualties so far. Ball played downfield. We are into added time. 4 minutes of added time at the end of this game. 0-0. As Stones steps forward with the ball. Not sure how much time there will be added on in the Denmark-Serbia match. Whether that will finish before us, probably afterwards, you would have thought. Yeah, 5 minutes have been added on there. So there is the possibility, if it stays like that if Denmark score a late goal, that would nudge England down to second in the table. There might be some drama tonight as Alexander-Arnold plays it across towards Kyle Walker, still inside his own half. But of the substitutes, certainly Cole Palmer will have lifted the spirits of the England fans, the glimpse they've had of him here tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's hugging that right-hand side at the moment.
That's a good ball from Gordon, a flick to Kane, then across to Palmer, left foot, saved by Oblak, who drops on it. didn't quite catch it the way he would have wanted to, but arriving onto it on his left foot.
Fantastic pass from Anthony Gordon. I love the pass. He drove inside, played a pass, zipped through the lines. It's a brilliant one. Lovely touch round the corner. And you just want it was like the Italy one last night, the Italy goal winner. You just wanted to shape it into that far corner, and he just connected wrong with it.
I feel like here with the substitutes who've come on, we're seeing a glimpse of what England might. And I know we're always talking about if and might and what will they do, but we are seeing it here tonight.
Football's a complicated game. No, a simple game made complicated by people. And that pass there from Anthony Gordon, just straight through. Harry Kane with a little Cruyff turn into the path of Cole Palmer. And spot on, Connor, with that shout, by the way, for Italy last night. It's a similar chance, but on the other side, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the late goal that Italy scored. So we've got 90 seconds left to play. Still 0-0. Stays like this. That's going to be a 1-0 win, a 1-1 draw and a 0-0 draw for England in the group. And I'm afraid you might not like it, dear listener, but the word tournament football will be mentioned again as Alexander-Arnold plays it to Palmer down in the full-back position. Palmer wins it back. Nenu back to Palmer. Palmer to Alexander-Arnold on the edge of the box. It was a 50-50 ball, and England fans want a free kick for the challenge. Slovenia take it downfield, and then Gay actually runs into Kyle Walker, who's okay. Did worry for him for a moment there. England on the attack, might be the last one. Gordon with that blonde hair. Then to Alexander-Arnold, right foot shot, but high over the top by 2 or 3 yards. And a goal kick for Slovenia with 40 seconds to go.
Oh, it's Trent Alexander-Arnold just picking the ball up in the middle of the box. Sorry, just outside the box, and he just lets fly, and he's got a wonderful strike on him, and we're urging that to nestle into the far corner. It's just gone over the bar. That was the moment.
England 0, Slovenia 0. They wanted a statement performance. Really, you have to be honest, it's been far from that. And the jury still will be very much out on how far England are capable of going in this tournament. As the ball is flicked on downfield, Gay had to get there first, but he did. And there is the final whistle. And Slovenia celebrate. Slovenia celebrate. Now suddenly they're the story of the night. They'll finish in third, but they will be one of the third place qualifiers. The greatest night at a tournament that Slovenia have ever had. The first time that they've qualified for the knockout stages, and they are celebrating appropriately. 0-0, 3 draws, that's going to take them through. And England, unless we get a late goal from Denmark, England are going through as group winners despite their toils in the group.
Well, those scenes to our right there are unbelievable for Slovenia. Like the amount of heart and grit that they put into that performance, it was exceptional to watch at times. The discipline and the coaching that's clearly gone on within their camp. But on the flip side for England, the players look dejected. They're clapping the fans because they know that they still haven't reached the performance levels that we all know they are capable of. Hopefully soon they will find them.
Yeah. Well, it couldn't be much worse for England after the Denmark performance for most of that match. I suppose there are positives to be taken from this, but England fans will want much, much more in the knockout stages that England are through to. England will play as group winners, one of the third place finishers. It looks very likely it'll be England-Netherlands in the round of 16 on Sunday in Gelsenkirchen at 5 o'clock UK time. That'll be confirmed. But tonight, England 0, Slovenia 0 on a very forgettable final night in a very forgettable group. Mark Chapman.
Let's just go straight to Maz Fariki watching Denmark against Serbia for how this is going to finish.
Yeah, and the seconds ticking by here. Very nervous Denmark fans. In fact, the full-time whistle has just gone, Mark, and it has finished goalless in Munich as well. Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Serbia really scaring Denmark late on, really pushing for the win that they needed to try and keep their place in the tournament in the knockout stages. Going very, very close. Mitrovic booked as well late on for diving as well. Coming together with him and Anderson, who wasn't happy as well with some of the tactics that Mitrovic was trying to employ to disrupt Denmark's rhythm at the back in the latter stages. But they have held on, Denmark. The 3 points, we think, is going to be enough for them to be in the knockout stages. Full time in Munich, Denmark 0, Serbia 0.
We are here then in Köln, where it has finished goalless between England and Slovenia. And John Murray, first of all, just back to you with the sort of the difference in reaction between the two camps and the two sets of fans.
Well, I mean, for Slovenia, this is one of their greatest nights. They've never had a night like this. And for England, many of the fans have left the ground. There are still plenty there, but Gareth Southgate very pointedly is going out and walking on his own around in front of the England fans and applauding them. I mean, their backing during the course of the match, when you consider the kind of match that it was outstanding. But the real celebrations, the real winners here tonight are Slovenia, and they're having a real party to our right in the stands here in Cologne.
Everything ended goalless in Group C. To be honest, I thought Group B was dull last night, but Group C, both games ended goalless. England and Slovenia, and Denmark and Serbia. And we are going to be left now, and everybody is going to be left here, Connor. We're trying to analyse this and trying to look at this with what we've seen in front of our eyes for 90 minutes and the bigger picture of tournament football. And that's a very difficult place to be to analyse where England are at.
Yes, of course it is. What I will say is I think all the supporters in here, all of us here as England fans, we're a little bit worried with what we're seeing. And listen, we said before the game, didn't we, about we wanted a reaction. We felt like this was the game. We wanted this to be the game where England really arrive on this huge stage at this competition and go, we're here, England are finally here. And we're just gutted we haven't really seen that. I don't think there was anything really in the game. I don't think England really shone. There was loads of chances. There was a Cole Palmer one at the end that we fancied, and we wanted him to go and score for him because I thought he was great when he come on. But you've got to give credit to Slovenia, and we don't want to say that as England fans and pundits commentating on England games. We want to wax lyrical about England, but we're looking at Slovenia here celebrating with the fans, and we want that for our England team as well.
I'm just going through the best placed sides in third at the moment. Slovakia still have a game to play. Now, presuming in their last game that they don't get absolutely pumped, they are likely to be in. That's Slovakia, not Slovenia, Slovakia. So you would be looking at Netherlands, Slovakia and Slovenia all guaranteed in the last 16. So then it comes down to whether Group F can get past Hungary. Croatia are gone, definitely. It's whether Czech Republic or Georgia could get to 4 points, and that would take Hungary out. So you're left with two options really as far as England are concerned, as long as I've got this right. John Murray's doing what he normally does here, absolving any responsibility and about to walk off.
I've got to go and interview Gareth Southgate.
But as I understand it, if it just comes down to whether a team in Group F can take Hungary out, it leaves England with two possibilities. If Hungary stay in and Group F don't have a best third place team, England will play the Netherlands. That will be their last 16 tie. If somehow Czech Republic or Georgia get to 4 points and Group F take Hungary out, that will leave England with the best team, the third place team in Group E. So that's the Belgian group. Yeah. So it's down to two now, either the Netherlands or the team that finishes third in Group E, unless Slovakia get walloped. But we'll come to that another time.
But yes, you've described that brilliantly, Mark. Just as well you had a match like that you had time to work it out.
Honestly, I've done.
Normally, you don't like doing that sort of thing.
Done 2 Sudokus. I've done that now.
He done it today on the train.
Well, I was helping you with your crossword, wasn't it?
With the colourful pillars inside this stadium, reminds me of a Rubik's Cube. I wondered whether you had one of those with you as well.
Now that I really would struggle with. I've never.
Well, perfect. It would have been perfect.
It would have been. What's your overall view?
Well, firstly, mic drop for you, chappers. That was an absolutely exceptional delivery of the permutations. I'm very glad John Murray is still here because permutations are not my strong point. But overall, my view on England is, I completely reiterate what Connor said. I think there are a lot of England fans left a little bit confused after that, a little bit uncertain. But listen, tournament football, the good old cliche is England are still right in it, and one of the massive positives is the substitutes, and the second one is there's another game to go, at least one other game.
Are the substitutes the biggest positive for you, Joe Hart, who's joined us again in the Berlin studio?
I'm still rattled from the first substitute. Yeah, look, I think they look sharp. I think Kobe Mainoo delivered a really good performance in the second half. What was interesting was when we knew who was coming on, it was, I had no idea who was coming off. But it was exciting to see the guys come on. Even obviously Anthony Gordon, he didn't get much time, but Cole Palmer looked really cool, and what a lovely player. He really makes things happen, doesn't he, without looking like he's making any effort. It's exceptional to watch. Obviously Phil Foden really tried to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and if anyone was gonna take control, it looked like him. But yeah, that was an interesting second half, an interesting first half, but as Izzy's just said, I think we've just got to take the first place and look to keep building.
We know what happens in these situations now, Izzy. The sub comes on and does fairly well, and Cole Palmer certainly brought the energy to that when he came on for Bukayo Saka. So we've been here in club football before and in international before. The clamour will be now Palmer to start, Mainoo to start. They will be the team. A bit difficult to tell Anthony Gordon because he had a minute basically, but we know how it works, and yet sometimes you can have more impact as a sub if the other team have been tired for an hour. So it's a difficult one.
It's very difficult, and I think obviously the cry will be Cole Palmer has to start, like you say, but I think that the thinking is much deeper than that. It's much deeper than he's had an impact for 20 minutes. The thinking is, what does the next opponent look like? Who have we got? How do they play? And that's Gareth Southgate's job and his technical coaching staff, is picking the right 11 with the best tools to unlock that team and to beat them in front of them. And again, I think that's what makes the best managers great, because you've got the Pep Guardiolas of the world who have a system and they dominate the system so well that it destroys anybody in front of them. But then you've got some managers who are willing to adapt. And I think England now, they need to start adapting and looking at which players are going to unlock the opposition, which players are going to cause damage. And if that means dropping big names, that doesn't matter, because the team is the most important thing for England.
Do you think the players, it'll be interesting to see who comes out and talks, Joe, will be in a sort of similar situation to what I set up at the start here, that you're trying to balance another tough performance to watch in a lot of places with qualifying?
Yeah, look, there's no doubt that they're gonna try and hammer home the point that they've qualified, and they've qualified at top of the group. Other big countries have struggled. We looked at those games earlier this afternoon. Just seeing how France have ended up in second place and things like that. But it's going to be a tough interview. Trust me, as a player who has been part of teams and part of England teams who are expected to do well, and often in the first couple of games you have this noise, and you personally, I don't know how you feel, kind of when you've been in these situations, you do literally feel like a performance is around the corner. You 100% believe that and feel that. But for for a third game to not be quite at the level that everyone wants to be at, it's a really, really tough interview, and it's a really good, it's a big test for them as a squad and as a team. But look, they've just got to stick together. They've got to believe in what they're doing. They've got to almost really, really double down now and just have each other's backs. You've got to have each other's backs in these situations. You've got to be realistic. Of course you have, and you've got to accept that you can do better. But stay tight, boys.
Yeah, I agree with Harty, and the one thing that you look around when you go in and you are going through these periods is you look around at each other and you go, right, what have we got in the dressing room? And looking at that dressing room, it's one of the best dressing rooms they'll probably sit in ever in the career, because the players in there are unbelievable. So that's got to give them confidence. But listen, there's no beating around the bush. England are in a tough moment. They were in a tough moment before they come to this competition, because I think it was one win in 5. And now it's 1 win in 3 in the competition. So they are in a tough moment, but like I said, they've got to get in that dressing room, look around at each other and go, right, where are we going? What can we do? And because, like I said, they're probably in the best dressing room they'll ever sit in their careers, so they've got to get the most out of that.
I think they need to adopt a nothing gets out and nothing gets in to our camp now. I think they've got to have that, because there's been a lot said, which is okay, and there's been a lot of response off the back of that. And I think where they're at now is they need absolute 110% focus, and I'm sure they are focused. I'm absolutely not questioning that at all. But I think the players need to just completely strip everything down to the bare bones, simplify the game, simplify the thinking around it, simplify the preparation, and just focus on the basics of what they are good at, and then bring that to the next match, because the likelihood is the next match is going to be against an opposition who are higher ranked than Slovakia, and they're going to have to put in a performance. Sorry, Slovenia.
They had 12 shots, Joe, did England, only 4 on target. The only one I can remember in the second half was the one that Oblak saved from Palmer at the end. I can't remember. I think all the others came in the first half. The other thing, they played tonight 746 passes compared to 272 from Slovenia, and yet were they too cautious for you at times?
Well, they were looking to really make it difficult for Slovenia. I thought Slovenia, Codes as a centre half, I think they really did make some key interceptions at the last minute. Number 6 in the middle, just got his head on a few things just as Harry Kane was about to finish. Obviously that great ball in from Kieran Trippier. It was if spots and maybes moments. We never really sliced them open. Obviously, I think second half it's key. Sorry,
Joe. When they did, they got through on goal, and it was a sequence of 2 or 3 passes. And sometimes building up's great, but if you can go and hurt the opposition, hurt them.
Yeah, agreed. And I think they were going down the route of trying to tire them, and there was an interchange. There was Foden in the middle. There was Bellingham out on the left. I think obviously second half, I don't think Slovenia got near our goal. There was a few long balls up front that 3 or 4 of our lads were dealing with one. So the pressure was there, but yeah, just didn't quite find that opening. And when they did, a little toe or a head, put a stop to it.
I agree with what I was saying at half-time, Chaps. I think we're lacking a little bit of confidence. I do. I've been in that position as a player. I think we all have, haven't we, Harty? Where you are lacking that confidence, you're lacking that little bit of an edge, you're lacking that little bit of a mind just to play a risk through the lines, or it became a little bit too easy at times. We were passing 10-yard passes back to Declan Rice, who'll go out the other side. I just think we've got to gain that confidence back. We've got to believe in each other. We've got to, like I said, sit in that dressing room and go, right, what are we going to do here? We need to be strong enough to stand up as men and go, right, let's get back to taking risks, fire balls through lines. If it means giving it to Cole Palmer and going 1v1, we mentioned in the first half, didn't we, about the fullback being on a yellow card. It was only when Cole Palmer come on did we actually then start running at the fullback to have a go. That becomes game management. So I do think we're lacking in confidence, and that's got to come back quick going into what are bigger games now in the knockout stage.
By the way, tonight Jordan Pickford's kept more clean sheets in a major tournament than any goalkeeper in England's history. That's his stats are racking up, Joe, aren't they, before we let you go?
Yeah, credit to him. Obviously that's a great achievement, but Jordan's definitely, I'm almost certain that his mindset isn't going to be about, if he didn't keep a clean sheet and England won this tournament, that would be all that mattered to him. Obviously clean sheets mean that it gives your team a chance, but now with the caps and the clean sheets that he's got to his name in big major tournaments, he's going to want a medal to put around his neck to have something to show for it.
Joe, thank you. See you soon. Joe's off to do. Are you doing TV highlights? Is that
right? Tune in, guys.
That's why he stays in Berlin. That's why he stays in Berlin.
We'll be tuning in, Joe.
I'm guessing you might, because it's the highlights. Because England have played. Do you have to start with England?
Of course we do. Of course we do. We're going to pick into it, and there's going to be positivity. Don't you worry about that.
Absolutely. But once they've done that, Netherlands, Austria is well worth watching. Thank you, Joe. Talk to you later.
Night,
Joe
guys.
Hart with us on 5 Live. Let's go down to the tunnel and John Murray.
And first up tonight is the England captain, Harry Kane. Congratulations, Harry. Top of the group. That's what you come here to do, isn't it? But that was a tough night, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I think, we can be proud of finishing top. It's not easy in these major tournaments, as you've seen with other big nations in the tournament already, not finishing top. So we can enjoy this for sure. It was a tough game. I thought it was probably our best performance out the 3. I thought we definitely had more energy without the ball. We pressed better. We counter-pressed better, which allowed us to have wave after wave. We just lacked a bit of magic in the final third, but yeah, that will come. Another good clean sheet, which we're going to need if we want to go far in this tournament, that's for sure. So credit to the boys for that, and yeah, we enjoy it and move on to the next round.
Yeah, it was, how should I describe it, a little tentative in the early stages. Do you think that was a legacy of everything that's happened at Denmark performance?
I'm not too sure. All 3 performances have been different to start the game. Obviously Serbia, we started well. Denmark, we didn't start too bad, too good. Today we didn't start great, but I thought after 10 minutes we really grew into the game, and the longer the first half went on, the spaces started to get bigger, and we got into more dangerous areas, and then that continued in the second half. And the subs who come on made a good difference, bring a lot of energy, and then, like I said, we just couldn't quite find that final finish, that final pass. But yeah, hopefully that will come the knockout rounds.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to tell me that you can grow into this tournament?
Well, I think if you look at previous tournaments, for sure, we started to play some of our best football in the knockout rounds. The last Euros against Germany, against Ukraine, and then Denmark, and even the World Cup against Senegal in the first knockout round. So, yeah, for sure, there's more to come. I think always the objective to start the tournament is get through the group. You don't want to have no mishaps, and then your third place, waiting to see what happens. We finished top. We've done our main objective. Yeah, we can improve. We know that, but you've got to enjoy these moments. Major tournaments are really hard, really difficult, and to finish top is not easy.
Yeah, and just finally, now you've won the group, you know that you can't play another group winner until the semi-finals. It looks as though it might well be the Netherlands in the last 16.
Yeah, I mean, look, whoever we get, it's going to be a tough game, as this group's shown, and I think every group that you've watched so far in this tournament, there's some really good teams, really well-organised teams. There's no easy game now in this type of competition, so yeah, whoever it is, obviously we'll do what we always do, prepare well, debrief well, and then yeah, it's knockout football now. It's the important part of the tournament where it all counts. So yeah, hopefully we can build a bit of momentum going into the knockout rounds.
Harry Kane, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
He said they've got to enjoy it and they've got to celebrate it. It did feel muted at the end though, didn't it, Izzy?
Yeah, and he's obviously got to come out, the England captain Harry Kane, to be positive, because they're all on a journey together and they want to win this tournament. But obviously the England fans, and we can only assess from the outside what we see, and obviously the game, I think, just leaves a little bit of disappointment because of exactly the talent that there is in that team. But Harry Kane, he comes out, whether they win, lose or draw, and he speaks honestly, he speaks from the heart. And the lads were talking about him earlier, weren't they, about what a leader he is and how he communicates with the players. And I think they just need a little bit of a reset. They need to go again, and obviously they need everybody in that squad, the big players in particular, to step right up and be counted.
Going to go back down to the tunnel. We've got John Stones next, I think. John.
Yeah, it is John Stones, winner of his 75th cap tonight. John, you've started all of these tournament matches under Gareth Southgate, so you're the ideal man to put into context this. England finishing top of the group. I know there'll be grumblers about the performance, but come on, give us a proper overview.
No, super pleased to top the group. So what we came here to achieve, the first kind of stage of the tournament, and I'm super proud of the players of what we've achieved. 2 clean sheets, which is so important in tournament football. We can feel the tension from a small minority in the stands, and that's to be expected. We want to win games as well. We're out there fighting for each other, fighting for the shirt, trying to live everyone's dream through us. And we know we've got to improve and do better. I thought tonight was a great step in the right direction. A lot of emotions and a lot of pressure on the game, and I thought we handled that really well. Not the outcome that we want, as I said before, we wanted the 3 points, but to top the group shouldn't be underestimated.
It's not been quite like this before, has it, under Gareth Southgate as a tournament, the last few days that you've had?
Yeah, no, it hasn't, and it is what it is. We're here to try and win and get everyone behind us, and as I said, do everyone proud. I think as a little kid, I keep taking it back to when I was a little kid. Sorry, I got a little photo of me and my dad sent out here. I was signing for Barnsley, funny enough, in an England kit, and it hit home, that I was that boy watching the England team. Now I'm the person in the other shoes, and I want to do everyone proud at home, as does everyone else. And we want to deliver for everyone. We want to deliver for ourselves. We want to keep improving, and we want to achieve something that's never been done before.
And it was Gareth Southgate who played you in all of these tournaments. Yeah. How much do you want to do it for him, because he's been under the pump this week?
Yeah, 100%. I think we're so together, and I think he's a great character of how he controls everything, his emotions. the outside pressure, and we can't control that. That's something that we shouldn't get involved in. I don't think we have. Excuse me. It could have been a totally different outcome tonight, and how we played the game. The outcome, as I said before, wasn't the 3 points, but another clean sheet, and clean sheets in tournament football is so important, especially in the last Euros. I think our stat was something like 1 or 3 goals in 20 something games I'm not sure.
It was about
something like, yeah. And something I'm extremely proud of, because that's a platform for the lads to go and show their flair and their skill and score goals and try and win us games. And we know we've got improvement to do this week on the training pitch, and we'll be self-critical of everything, and look to make that step forward again.
Lovely, thanks John.
Thank you.
And well done on the 75.
Thank you.
John Stones, Mark.
Thank you, John. I think he found that interview quite difficult, John Stones. Not John Murray.
I've never known John Murray to take
but
make an interview out.
I think again he was trying to find the right path through that.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he's trying to find the positives out of it all. I think all the England boys will do. I think everybody will try and find the positives out of it, and I think that's the best thing to do. But like I said, I think as long as they know in that dressing room, like John Stones mentioned a few times there, how important it is to improve before the next one, because now it gets really tough. Now we look at it, I think we've all been there, is where you go through and you go, right, now the real business starts, this is where it goes, it's now or never. We get it done, because you can be sat there after the game come Sunday and you could be going home the next day if it's not done right. So now's where it gets really hard, and you've got to make sure they do it properly, and I think he was alluding to that. But it's a hard one straight after a game. Honestly, I've been there when you get put a microphone in your face and it's right, go on, off you pop, and it's tough when you've just had a performance like that.
After the second game against Denmark, some of the reaction from the players and staff was a tiny bit emotionally charged, I think, in a response. And that interview there with John Stones was quite emotionally charged to me. He spoke a lot about what it means to play for England, which of course is the greatest honour as a footballer. But I would say at this present, just the angle I'm looking at it, I think the emotion needs to be removed from it. I think it needs to be a pragmatic approach, simple, effective, basic instructions, and just go back to what you're good at. And I think that the whole trying to do the nation proud will come if you get the bits right on the pitch. So I think they're close, and they've obviously got to come out and be positive, but I think just remove a little bit of the emotion and focus on what's next.
Earlier on, when I was going through who England might play and how the best third place teams might fall into place, which you both seem to enjoy, at the back of my mind there was a huge doubt about who had actually finished second in this group. And in the end, and this is why, not that I'm making excuses, and Masferiki could take this on, it actually came down to a yellow card, and a yellow card that Slovenia got for that pulling back of Harry Kane with about 10-15 minutes to go. And I think that late yellow card has helped Denmark finish second. But Maz, maybe you're better briefed than me.
Oh, I've been trying to do this for about 10-15 minutes, which is why I said I think when it finished 0-0 between Denmark and Serbia that was enough for Denmark. But yeah, just to outline how tight it is, you're absolutely right. The most interesting thing really about this game tonight is just how tight it was between Denmark finishing second and Slovenia finishing second. So with Group C complete, both Denmark and Slovenia finished with the same points tally, the same goal difference, the same goals scored, and the same disciplinary record across the 3 games they played. So players both picked up 6 cautions in total across the 3 matches. So nothing to separate them there. The next tiebreaker we look at is who has the best qualifying record. These 2 sides were actually in the same qualifying group, and they both finished on the same number of points too. But Denmark finished above Slovenia on their head-to-head record. So that's why Denmark finished second and Slovenia finished third. Are you still with me? I haven't probably explained that very well.
No, you have. You've explained it absolutely. Well, on the note I have in front of me, that's absolutely spot on.
So it does just explain, doesn't it? Just as you say, how tight it was. And there was certainly some tempers flaring late on in Munich. Anderson in particular, if he'd picked up a yellow, then Denmark would have dropped to third.
And of course, second in this group gets Germany. So maybe finishing third wouldn't have been that bad, and maybe wouldn't have been that bad. Is there anything to say on the game, or is it probably best that how a team is qualified is the most interesting conversation?
Absolutely the most interesting thing about this game. Completely forgettable, much as it seems as yours was as well. I just think that Denmark just relieved really to get over the line, and certainly work for them to do as well if they're going to challenge Germany in that game.
Okay, thank you very much, Maz. Denmark 3 in second. They'll take on Germany. England likely to get the Netherlands. They could get the team who finished third in Group E, and Slovenia go through as one of the best third place sides as well. Can I ask you a couple of tactical things, you two, about this game? There were several instances where I thought I saw players, particularly out wide, occupying the same 3 to 5 yards. Bellingham and Foden in the first half, a little bit Mainu and Palmer when he came on in the second half, maybe a little bit in the middle sometimes, Foden and Bellingham.
Yeah, I agree with you, chappers. Yeah, I think what we're seeing in this tournament in the first 3 games now, I think they both want to play in the same position. I think they're trying to find the best out of each other. So I think Jude, or they're working on in training, so I think Jude's saying to Phil, I'll pop outside if you come inside, I'll occupy that space. And it's just getting a little bit complicated. I think, as Izzy said before, it's just stripping it back and back to basics. I actually looked at the time, it was around 82 minutes, and Phil had come inside to get on the ball. And as Phil had come inside, Trippier's then further on, I think about 82 minutes, or it might have been a bit earlier. Trippier's gone a bit further on, and you're thinking, don't really want Trippier up there on his left foot in all that space. You want Phil, or you want a winger out there, or so I just think everything's complicating a little bit, and I just get the feeling you both want to be in that same position at the minute, and they're trying to get the best out of each other, but it's hard when you both want to be in that centre of the pitch getting on the ball.
Yeah, from my angle, what I think there was a lot in it, and to describe on the radio without a tactics board is quite difficult. However, what I saw was, they've clearly been told, we call overloads in football. You get the numerical advantage in a certain area of the pitch to dominate the opposition, and you want to work the ball because sometimes it's better to work the ball does all the work, not the players. So that's what England have done. They've gone out into wide areas, they've added numbers out there, and they've tried to dominate. What they didn't do was penetrate in those areas. So then what they've done is they've come back into central areas, and then they've tried to circulate the ball. And it's become a little bit frustrating to watch at times because it's been quite slow, lethargic, and not much piercing through the heart of the defence. And the other thing I noticed was the full-back positioning. Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier on both sides at certain times, they were almost in a centre-back area, and I actually would have liked to have seen them level off. We call it, what do we call it, Con, when the full-back deepens off? It squares off, so you're parallel to your centre-back partner, because what that does is it creates a massive challenge for the wingers, the opposition wingers, and it actually ends up getting your midfielders on the ball easier. But what we did was we played into Slovakia's hands, Slovenia, I don't know why I keep saying that, it's because I've got it written in front of me, right. In a 4-4-2, and they just said, we are happy here, we are strong, break us down, and they didn't, and we didn't.
Could the fullbacks have overlapped more?
I don't think it was on to overlap, because the wingers were told to get chalk on their boots at times, but Foden's got licence to start there but drift in. Saka stayed out there, and Connor nailed it at half time. Get the ball out to Bukayo Saka and get him cutting inside.
So is it a tactical thing, or is it a personnel thing?
I think they'll be going through these things on the training pitch, and I keep on saying it, but when we're looking at the personnel, we're looking at players who want to come inside, we're looking at a lot of players, we're looking at Bukayo Saka, he's left-footed, so when you're left-footed you don't often go down the right and cross the ball in, because that's not your strong foot, even though he can use his right foot, so he's left-footed, so he tends to come inside. The run he does really well for Arsenal is when Ben White, who's not here, gets on the ball, he takes a run inside and Ben White plays into his path and he's running in his left foot. They've not got them partnerships yet because Kyle Walker plays Man City or all that sort of thing, so I just think it's people want to play in positions that they're not actually there at the minute, so we've got Phil Foden coming in and things like that.
Saka plays off the right for Arsenal, and he scored 16 goals last season. 11 of those goals were with his left foot, and Anthony Gordon scored the majority of his goals, I think 10 out of his 11 goals this season, with his right foot, and he plays off the left for Newcastle. So you've got players in there, wide players with strengths of coming inside, so we have got players that can contribute coming inside. It's how you find the balance in the middle of the pitch, and I think Con again nailed it. I think Foden and Bellingham want to occupy the same spaces, and this is where I'm talking about an act of, and it's not a criticism by any means, you have to take away some of your own game for the benefit of the team. And if that means Bellingham makes continuous forward runs to create the space for Foden, please do it. If it means Foden has to actually just stay on the touchline, do it. It's just about what works with the team to create that flow and the dynamic football that we want to see.
Or the manager has to realise that he can't necessarily play the clamour for the players, and Bellingham and Foden are the two where there will be huge clamour because of the season that they've had. But you have to pick something that balances your team and works for you, don't you?
Yeah, you do, absolutely. And they're both like magnets to the ball. They want to be on it all the time. All the time they want the ball. And again, you throw Cole Palmer into the mix, and he is another player who wants the ball at his feet. And how is that going to look if he ends up starting the next game?
Now, I know what you're thinking as you listen to this. It's been 2 goalless draws. It's not been that much of an entertaining night. And as you go late into the night, you need someone full of fun and joie de vivre who's going to put a smile on your face. Come in, mystery voice.
Good evening. I've actually really enjoyed Group C and the games tonight, Mark.
Now, come on, Christopher.
No, I'm lying. I nearly nodded off. Had a hell of a day. My train was 3 hours late. 8.5 hours I've had on the train and had to come back and watch that.
Well, you've beaten me and Connor because ours took 7 hours and was 2.5 hours late. So
that's
you've actually won that.
First time I've beaten you at anything.
Were you on your own?
Yeah, yes, and that's the worry because I don't speak German, so I didn't dare get off the train and try and get another one because I didn't know what was going on. It was quite tricky, really.
What did you do on your own for 8? I mean, you know, maybe this will form part of 606, but what did you do for 8 hours on your own on the train?
Well, I just talked to myself and sort of chuckled at myself. That's basically what I do, Mark. That's all right, isn't it?
Come on, Chris. What did you do?
Well, I've read a book.
Tell the nation what you do.
I've read a book. Yeah, I've read a book. Did some prep, and then I was excited about the game this evening. Can I bring a bit of positivity?
Yes.
To proceed.
That'll be a face, Chris, won't it?
Oh, don't you start, dear me. So England haven't performed well, but their objective at the start of the group was to finish top. They've done that. Look at Portugal. I'm going to give George Cummings, the producer, credit for this. He reminded me, Portugal 2016, third in their group against Hungary, Iceland, Austria, beat Switzerland on penalties, beat Poland on penalties, beat Wales in the semi-final, and then beat France in the final. So England haven't got going, but it's sort of law of averages, isn't it? These players are too good not to get going. The one thing I did think we all learned from tonight, Cole Palmer has to start
instead of
Bukayo Saka. Was Izzy suggesting sort of when just listening in about maybe dropping Jude Bellingham?
Golly gosh, Chris, don't be ridiculous. Bukayo Saka needs to stay on the pitch as well, by the way.
So you wouldn't play Palmer? I mean, he actually did more. Who would you drop then? You can't have 12.
I think you need to consider Foden's position. I think he's been excellent. I think he's wanted to get on the ball. He's not been the Manchester City Phil Foden that we all know all about. But I think you're going to have to drop a big name in order to get a maximum team output. And there you go.
Does your positivity stretch to believing that England are on the right side of the draw because the French finish second? And isn't that disrespectful to the other sides who are on England's side of the draw, who have played some good football, like Austria?
A little bit disrespectful, maybe, but I'd keep my disrespect personal to myself. If I was an England player, I would be really excited about what has happened so far, and the fact that they know they can play a lot better. These are players week in and week out who play brilliantly in the Premier League. Harry Kane scored a bundle of goals in the Bundesliga, and they haven't clicked. But then they look at the other side of the draw, what Spain and Germany and France, the outstanding teams in the tournaments. Well, not France, but Spain and Germany. And, the fact of the matter is there's a good chance, if Gareth gets things together, that England can get to the final. I honestly, Mark, I honestly believe that.
And I don't want to burst your positivity bubble, but I'm going to ask all three of you. some of these will have been friendlies. Is there a concern that England have only won 2 out of their last 8 games in total?
No.
Okay. Connor?
Chris, I love your positivity, by the way. I'm all for that. I think...
You're going to say yes. That means yes.
Yeah, I think it is. I think there is a little bit yet, but I am all for it becomes serious now, and I do think they know they've got to improve.
Izzy?
Same as Connor. They've got to improve. They've got to.
You're on shortly, are you, Chris?
What are you laughing at, Chris?
Who would have thought that I could be more positive than anybody?
Chris, how long's your show tonight?
15 minutes, hopefully, unless there's some sort of cheery callers.
1 hour, apparently.
Honestly, yeah, well, 1 hour. No doubt we'll get the Gareth haters on, but okay. Honestly, we did learn tonight.
Hang on, I need to jump in because Gareth Southgate is live with John Murray.
Yes, here he is, the England manager. Gareth, through the group again, as you have done at all of your tournaments. When people look back at this in years to come, they'll probably see England top of the group. How should we regard this opening to this campaign, and what did you think of the performance tonight?
Well, I thought tonight was progress. I thought we used the ball better. We totally dominated the game, particularly the second half. We had them pinned in for long periods. I was pleased that we had enough composure not to get anxious, because we know what the last week or so has been like, and in those moments where everybody's desperate for the win, you can end up not using the ball as patiently and find yourselves in trouble. So really pleased with the composure that was shown, really pleased with the impact of all the players that came into the game. Yes, of course we'd have liked a couple of goals to send everybody home happy, but in the end that wasn't to be tonight. But I don't think it was for the want of the effort of the players or the ability to open the opposition up. It's probably just the finishing touch or the final pass a couple of times that let us down a bit.
How much has Cole Palmer impressed you with what he did there, having not played? He's obviously had a spell without actually playing in a competitive match, and yet looked very sharp, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Well, that's what we've seen in the last few days, in particular in training, and we've got good players in the squad, and we don't feel we should hesitate to use them. So he showed a real composure. He's got a really calm manner about him, and I think that showed in the way that both he and Cobby, the way they came into the game as two very young players.
Has he staked a claim there to start?
Well, he has been staking a claim without a doubt. We've got to look at who we play next, what's the best way of going for the next game. But it was fabulous to see. Look, we need a strong bench as well. These games are 95+ minute games. It's not just about the players who start. You need players to come in and have the impact like you did.
You made a point there of going round the England fans and thanking them for their support tonight. How much do you need them with you, bearing in mind the difficulties that you've had?
Yeah, look, I think they were brilliant in the second half, especially. There was a constant noise behind the team. I kind of get it. They are not happy with me. It's the reality of that. I'm not going to back away from that. They need
does that hurt?
Look, I'm not going to. I need them behind the team. So it's fine. I have to deal with what I'm dealing with. I wasn't going to back away from going and thanking people for coming and giving us the support they did. But I know that that's creating a bit of an issue for the group. I can deal with that, but I need to support the players, and the more the fans are, as they were in the second half, behind the team, it's a massive lift for them, because we're operating in a very, very unusual environment.
And just finally, do you sense that it will get better from here in the knockout stage?
Yeah, look, I don't think we were going to go from the performances we just had to a game of such pressure and score 4 goals. Football doesn't work like that. So I'm pleased with the progress made.
Of course, it's important to win the group because you control your own destiny. Whether you end up with a better draw or not is going to be debatable. But I think you never want to look back on a tournament and say, we dropped points and therefore we ended up going a different level of opponent, and that was the reason that we didn't succeed. So to win the group is always important, I think.
Gareth, thanks very much and well done for topping the group. There we go. Now off he goes. Gareth Southgate. Mark, you might have been able to hear, just as we were doing that interview, Radio Slovenia, we're interviewing Maciej Kek right over my right shoulder.
Oh,
slightly
do
off-putting.
you want to try and get Maciej Kek before we go?
He's gone. He's just gone.
God,
but
you missed your opportunity.
And I honestly do not think that there would have been a better chance to get him either.
John, thank you very much. Izzy Christiansen, Conor Cody still with us as we get ready to say goodbye from here in Köln, goalless between England and Slovenia. That was a very telling line there towards the end where he said we're operating in very unusual circumstances.
I don't know how to interpret that, if I'm honest.
No.
But I think, referring to a camp, a football team, whether that be club or country, there's pressure, and I think that nothing needs to leave that camp, no information, and I don't think anything should enter that camp, any information. I think what needs to happen is, Gareth and his staff have got the opportunity now to bounce forwards in the right direction, and they need to keep focused on that and not let any external noise affect them.